Chapter 1539. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. I killed your brother? Who are you to Wang Yan? Ling Zhao's eyes flickered as he asked. He suddenly felt that the red-haired young man looked familiar. He looked similar to the inner disciple of the Five Elements Saint sect, Wang Yan. He guessed that the red-haired young man was related to Wang Yan. Looks like you're the one who killed my brother. That's right, I'm Wang Yan's brother, Wang Dao. Wang Dao's eyes were filled with killing intent. He turned to look at the white-clothed young man beside him and sneered. Brother Lu Yun, this is Long Outyin that you're looking for. Not only did he kill many disciples of the Heavenly Curse sect, he also killed many disciples of the Five Elements Saint sect. I didn't expect to bump into him here. Long Outyin? He's only an early divine king, yet he possesses such great combat strength. Looks like the War God Shrine is not destined to die yet. They have such a genius disciple. However, I love to kill geniuses. I'll kill your clone today. The next time we meet, I'll kill your real body. Lu Yun's eyes flickered as he said flatly. Rumble. The surrounding space shook. Powerful auras radiated from Lu Yun and Wang Dao, locking onto Ling Xiao and Long Xiao. The pro-disciples of the Heavenly Curse sect and the Five Elements Saint sect? Ling Zhao's eyes were filled with a strange look. He did not expect to bump into Lu Yun and Wang Dao in the Divine Spirit Valley. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. However, Lu Yun and Wang Dao were both high-level sage to be. They were extremely powerful. Ling Xiao and Long Xiao were no match for them. Ling Xiao had the thought of retreating. Brother Lu Yun, there's no need to talk nonsense with him. Let's capture him first. We can do whatever we want with him then. Wang Dao sneered as if he could read Ling Zhao's mind. He immediately attacked. Boom. He slapped his palm towards Ling Xiao. The palm print covered the sky and covered the earth. It contained a vast holy way aura, as if it was going to smash everything into dust. The palm print was extremely terrifying. Even Ling Xiao felt great pressure from it. Ling Zhao's eyes flickered. The mysterious Kuan sword appeared in his hand instantly. It turned into a brilliant sword light and shot towards Wang Dao. Whoosh! The sword light was incomparably vast and extraordinarily sharp. It was like a resplendent Milky Way that swept through the sky. It seemed to be able to split the heavens and the earth, enveloping both Wang Dao and Lu Yun. Ling Xiao carried Long Xiao and used a secret teleportation technique to rush out of the Sacred Spirit Valley. Ling Xiao used his teleportation technique to the extreme. His entire body was like a golden bolt of lightning. His speed was extremely fast, and he appeared tens of thousands of meters away in an instant. Where are you going? Wang Dao sneered, and his eyes seemed to be filled with red flames. He shattered the dazzling sword light that erupted from the Xiankuran sword with a single palm, and then a violent Saint Dao aura spread out from his body, turning into a dazzling net of flames that enveloped the sky. A vast palm print fell from the sky. Flames spread and formed a raging sea of fire, enveloping Ling Xiao and Long Xiao once again. There was a blazing sea of fire in all directions, and even the void was slightly distorted. Ling Xiao was unable to dodge, and could only take Wang Dao's palm head-on. Rumble. The golden light in Ling Zhao's eyes blazed, and the blood in his body boiled as though it was on fire. An earth-shattering dragon's roar rang out from his body, and an immortal and indestructible aura spread out. He threw a punch at Wang Daohong. Bang! The void shook violently, and a chaotic aura spread out. Ling Zhao's fists collided with Wang Dao's and produced a thunderous sound. Ling Xiao felt his arm shake violently, and his entire body went numb. He was directly slapped down from the sky by Wang Dao's palm. There was a trace of surprise in Wang Dao's eyes. Although he didn't take Ling Zhao's fist seriously, in his opinion, it actually had the strength to threaten an ordinary half-saint expert. After all, Ling Zhao's cultivation was only at the early Divine King realm. His talent was truly terrifying. Cough cough. Ling Zhao's blood boiled, and a trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. The gap between Ling Xiao and Wang Dao was too great. Wang Dao was already a high-level half-saint, and he was about to condense his own Saint Dao. He was far from what Ling Xiao could compare to. Therefore, Ling Xiao was injured in just one move. Big baddie, don't bully big brother. There was a trace of anger in Long Xiao's eyes, and she flew out of Ling Zhao's arms in an instant. Whoosh! Long Xiaoxiao's body was filled with resplendent light, and an exquisite short sword appeared in her hand. Her entire body was emitting a strange light. Her shoes flashed, and her entire body was like a stream of light. Her speed was extremely fast, and she shot towards Wang Dao in an instant. The short sword in her hand pierced towards the center of Wang Dao's forehead. Chirp! The phoenix hairpin on Long Xiaoxiao's head was like a real fire phoenix. It let out a cry, and all the flames in the sky were attracted to it. It swallowed them in one gulp, and then spat them towards Wang Dao. You actually have so many perfect saint treasures? Little sister, let me play with you. There was a trace of surprise in Lu Yun's and Wang Dao's eyes. Long Xiaoxiao's perfect saint treasures were too shocking. A resplendent rune appeared in Lu Yun's palm. It revolved and turned into an ancient cauldron that emitted a mysterious yellow light. Earth Curse Cauldron. This perfect saint treasure originally belonged to Lu Yun, but he had lent it to Yuan Fei. Now it was back in Lu Yun's hands. The Earth Curse Cauldron emitted a heavy and majestic aura under Lu Yun's control, and blocked Long Xiaoxiao's attack. Clang! The short sword in Long Xiaoxiao's hand shot towards the Earth Curse Cauldron, and it immediately exploded with resplendent light, and sent her flying back. Although Long Xiaoxiao had perfect saint treasures, her cultivation hadn't reached the half-step saint realm, and she couldn't display the full power of the saint treasures. Buzz! The Earth Curse Cauldron emitted a mysterious yellow light, and it instantly formed a barrier that enveloped Long Xiaoxiao. Rumble! Long Xiaoxiao kept attacking the Earth Curse Cauldron, and the saint treasures around her began to emit resplendent light, but she couldn't break through the defense of the Earth Curse Cauldron. Long Outian Die. Wang Dao's eyes were incomparably cold. Flames rose around his body, and he slammed his palm towards Ling Xiao. The flames that filled the sky superimposed on his palm, and the palm print was vast and unparalleled. It rumbled as it descended from the sky. Ling Zhao's eyes were incomparably cold. He raised the mysterious Kuan sword in his hand to block the attack, and a resplendent sword light exploded. However, he still couldn't resist Wang Dao's palm, and he was directly slammed down by Wang Dao. Puff! Ling Xiao spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura became somewhat weak. You want the saint badge? Come down if you have the ability. Ling Xiao glanced coldly at Lu Yun and Wang Dao. Light flashed around his body, and he directly shot towards the huge abyss below. Chapter 1540. Rumble. In the abyss, the radiance was dazzling. Rays of sacred light gushed out, and emitted a vast and ancient aura. Just like that, Ling Xiao jumped into the abyss and was instantly drowned by the resplendent light. Damn it! Wang Dao's face was ghastly and his eyes were filled with coldness. He did not expect Ling Xiao to be so decisive and jump into the abyss. His plan to capture Ling Xiao alive was completely foiled. One should know that the abyss of the Sacred Spirit Valley was said to be connected to the origin of the Void Saint world. It was a place where chaotic origin energy gathered. No one could enter the abyss. It was said that even a true sage would die if he dared to enter the abyss. Wang Dao naturally did not dare to enter the abyss. Wang Dao and Lu Yun's faces turned ghastly when they thought of the countless sacred badges on Ling Zhao's body that had been buried in the abyss with him. It seemed that they were destined to return empty-handed. You big baddies, it was you who killed Big Brother. I will definitely avenge him. Long Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with anger. However, she was smart and knew that she was no match for Wang Dao and Lu Yun. She would be in danger if she continued to stay here. Hence, the boots on Long Xiaoxiao's feet emitted a strange radiance. Instantly, the void trembled slightly, and she was about to escape from the Sacred Spirit Valley. This little girl should have some sacred badges on her. Capture her. Lu Yun's eyes were sharp and he no longer held back. The radiance around his body was dazzling. The Earth Curse Cauldron in his palm rotated and suppressed Long Xiaoxiao. Rumble. The Earth Curse Cauldron was surrounded by Heaven and Earth Curse Cauldron. Runes lit up and intertwined with each other to form a mysterious realm that enveloped Long Xiaoxiao. No matter how Long Xiaoxiao attacked the Earth Curse Cauldron, the Earth Curse Cauldron shone brightly and trembled continuously. However, she was unable to escape from the realm that was enveloped by the Earth Curse Cauldron. Come here. Lu Yun said indifferently as he grabbed at Long Xiaoxiao with his palm. Buzz. However, at this moment, a strange 9-colored necklace on Long Xiaoxiao's snow-white neck lit up. It was like a 9-colored divine dragon. It was incomparably resplendent and directly formed a powerful barrier to protect Long Xiaoxiao. A glint flashed in Lu Yun's eyes. His palm landed on the barrier and was repelled. The fifth flawless holy treasure? The corner of Wang Dao's mouth twitched a little. Although he and Lu Yun were both true disciples, each of them only had one flawless saint treasure in their hands. Moreover, they had paid a great price to obtain it. Many true disciples did not have flawless saint treasures. However, the little girl in front of him, who looked like she was carved out of jade, actually had 5 perfect holy treasures on her, which made Wang Dao feel very uncomfortable. I heard that the dragon monarch of the dragon clan came from the demon realm to visit the war god temple. He even brought the little princess of the dragon clan with him. Lu Yun's eyes revealed a trace of surprise as he said faintly, "The little princess of the dragon race. Brother Lu, are you serious? No wonder she has so many perfect holy treasures on her. The dragon monarch really dotes on his daughter." Wang Dao's eyes flashed with a hint of jealousy. "That's right. Although our two sects are inquiring about the purpose of the dragon monarch's visit, it's a pity that the war god temple is impenetrable. If we can find out the purpose of the dragon monarch's visit from the little princess, you and I will have made a great contribution," Lu Yun said slowly. "Really? Haha, what are we waiting for? Brother Lu, this is a contribution that we can't lose." Wang Dao's eyes lit up. With a flash of light in his hand, a crimson saber appeared in an instant, flowing with blazing flames. Scorching Sun Saber. This was a flawless holy treasure that Wang Dao obtained from an ancient relic. Its power was unparalleled. It turned into a dazzling saber light in his hand and slashed towards Long Xiaoxiao across the sky. Boom. Long Xiaoxiao's body was surrounded by 9-colored light. The 9-colored barrier was incomparably tough. Even when the scorching sun saber slashed on it, it only blossomed into a dazzling flame, and a few ripples appeared on the barrier. Lu Yun's eyes also flashed with a divine light. Several ancient runes filled his palm, containing an aura that could destroy everything. In an instant, he slapped his palm across the sky and landed on the barrier. Boom. The barrier trembled, and light bloomed in the void. An unparalleled force pressed against the 9-colored barrier, trying to shatter it. The Earth Curse Cauldron and the Scorching Sun Saber continued to attack, bursting with dazzling power. Long Xiaoxiao had no way of escaping now, and could only stay in the 9-colored barrier. Oh no. This barrier won't be able to hold on for long. Is Xiaoxiao going to be killed today? Boo. I don't want to die. Long Xiaoxiao stayed in the barrier, looking pitiful. Although she could directly commit suicide to leave the Void Saint world, she was very conflicted and couldn't make up her mind. More importantly, if she committed suicide to leave the Void Saint world, she wouldn't be able to take away all the holy badges. She would only be able to benefit the 2 baddies in front of her. The little girl was even more conflicted. She stayed in the barrier, and her beautiful big eyes stared at Lu Yun and Wang Dao, not knowing what to do. In the abyss, Ling Xiao could only feel the dazzling light all around him. The powerful holy path aura was constantly eroding his body, and even his physical body was beginning to disintegrate. Even the powerful devouring heaven secret skill couldn't withstand the chaotic holy path energy in the abyss. It seems like I'm really going to die in this abyss. Fortunately, I've obtained quite a number of holy badges, and I can bring them out of the Void Saint world through the wordless heavenly book. I wonder how Long Xiaoxiao is doing? Ling Xiao laughed bitterly. Lu Yun and Wang Dao's strength was too terrifying. Both of them were high-level sage to be, and as the true disciples of the immortal sanctuary, they had a great chance of becoming saints in the future. The gap between Ling Xiao and them was still too big. Lu Yun, Wang Dao. I, Ling Xiao, will remember this. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of cold sharpness as he spoke slowly. Rumble. The chaotic aura of the divine way in the surroundings intertwined with each other. Like lightning and fire, it enveloped Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao's flesh and blood turned into nothingness, leaving only a golden skeleton that emitted a faint chaotic luster. However, Ling Xiao could feel that even his powerful skeleton couldn't withstand the surrounding holy path energy. It wouldn't be long before it was completely destroyed. Swoosh. Chapter 1541. Ling Xiao's legs began to shatter, and then it spread up to his chest. His entire body seemed to have turned into a dazzling rain of light, completely merging with the abyss. But at this moment, Ling Xiao's chest shone brightly. The fragment of the jade disc of fate that he had been hiding in his chest suddenly lit up. The strange light slowly spread out and enveloped Ling Xiao's entire body. Buzz. At this moment, the same light shone from the bottom of the abyss, as if it had formed a strange connection with the fragment of the jade disc of fate. This is the fragment of the jade disc of fate. Ling Xiao was shocked. He only felt the dazzling light on his chest, and his entire body was enveloped by the jade disc of fate. He turned into a stream of light, and disappeared into the strange place below. Boom! A resplendent light exploded in front of his eyes, and Ling Xiao appeared in a huge cave. To be exact, it was a stone platform at the bottom of the abyss, but it was covered by a strange bounded domain, forming a huge space. Outside the stone platform, the chaotic power of the Saint Wei intertwined, forming all sorts of mysterious phenomena that contained extremely terrifying destructive power. Ling Xiao had no doubt that if he left the stone platform now, he would be instantly shredded into pieces by the divine Wei power. What is this place? Ling Xiao was slightly puzzled, but his eyes lit up in the next moment. On the stone platform, there were hundreds of golden holy badges. Each of them gave off a strange light, ancient and mysterious. As for the silver holy badges, there was not a single one. Moreover, among the holy badges, there was a mysterious piece of jade. It looked flawless and exquisite. It was the fragment of the jade disc of fate. Buzz. The fragment shone brightly and flew toward Ling Xiao in an instant. It directly merged with the fragment of the jade disc of fate on his chest, forming a round jade disc. It happened to make up for the missing corner of the fragment in Ling Xiao's hand, making it complete. The round jade disc of fate shone brightly, as if it could illuminate the heavens. A mysterious scene appeared on it, with clouds and mist rising and rays of light shining on it. I've finally obtained a complete jade plate of good fortune. However, the jade plate of good fortune is made up of a total of 33 pieces. It is also called the Treastrimsa jade plate of good fortune. I wonder what this jade plate of good fortune can do? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He carefully observed the good fortune jade disc, but he didn't find anything different. However, the good fortune jade disc shone brightly and floated in the air, forming a milky white boundary that protected the stone platform. In addition to the hundreds of golden holy badges, Ling Xiao also saw 2 snow-white ivory tusks. They were like blades, emitting an immortal and mysterious light, as dazzling as divine gold. This place wouldn't be the white jade elephant's lair, right? Ling Xiao carefully looked at the 2 snow-white tusks, and suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. After all, the hundreds of golden holy badges and fragments of the good fortune jade disc could not have appeared here out of thin air. Someone must have collected them. Combined with the 2 tusks, Ling Xiao immediately guessed that this was probably the lair of the white jade elephant. Roar. At this moment, a furious roar suddenly came from the sky, emitting a monstrous killing intent. Suddenly, the heaven and earth trembled violently. Outside the abyss, while Lu Yun and Wang Dao were attacking the barrier around Long Xiaoxiao, that fierce roar was like thunder from the 9 heavens. It gave the 2 of them a fright. Rumble. The white jade elephant, which was hundreds of feet tall, was surrounded by clouds. The 2 golden flames in its eye sockets were dazzling, and it even emitted a trace of human-like anger and killing intent. It charged rapidly from outside the valley, emitting an extremely violent aura. Oh no! How did the white jade elephant get rid of the temptation of the heavenly holy incense so quickly? Lu Yun and Wang Dao's faces changed immediately. They didn't expect the white jade elephant to rush into the sacred spirit valley so quickly. Just as the 2 of them were on guard and emitted a powerful aura, ready to resist the attack of the white jade elephant, which had gone crazy for no reason, the white jade elephant did not charge at them. Instead, it plunged into the abyss. Lu Yun was stunned. He looked at the abyss in front of him and said, "What's going on?" Did something happen in the abyss? Why is the white jade elephant so angry? Could it be that Long Outyin is messing with us? Wang Dao guessed. He was also puzzled. Impossible. Even if you and I entered the abyss, our souls would be scattered instantly. Long Outyin will definitely die. Lu Yin shook his head and said, I have a bad feeling. Why don't we leave now? Wang Dao suddenly said. No. The little princess of the dragon tribe is too important. We must capture her and torture her for information. She is worth the risk. Attack with all your might, break the boundary, and capture her. Lu Yun's eyes flashed sharply as he said coldly, Rumble. Lu Yun's majestic aura exploded. The earth curse cauldron emitted a dazzling light. Runes flew out from it and instantly blasted toward Long Xiaoxiao. The 9-colored boundary shook violently. The light began to dim as if it was going to shatter at any time. Could it be? Big Brother is not dead? Long Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up when she saw the white jade elephant rushing into the abyss. She guessed in her heart. Big Brother, hurry up and save Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao doesn't want to fall into the hands of these two bad guys. I don't want to commit suicide either. Suicide is too painful. Long Xiaoxiao muttered to herself pitifully. The white jade elephant rushed into the abyss. Its aura was majestic as it rushed toward the stone platform in the middle. Ling Xiao raised his head and immediately saw the white jade elephant's huge body descending from the sky. It was surrounded by a violent holy path aura. The golden flames in its eyes seemed to be going berserk. Ling Xiao had touched the golden holy badge and the fragment of the creation jade disc. It seemed to have touched the white jade elephant's reverse scale, causing it to rush back at him recklessly. I'm really done for this time. Ling Xiao said with a bitter smile. He did not resist at all. His eyes were extremely calm. Anyway, it was a pleasant surprise to be able to enter the white jade elephant's lair this time. Not to mention the hundreds of golden holy badges, just the fragments of the good fortune jade disc alone was worth the risk for Ling Xiao. Buzz. Ling Xiao had already kept the hundreds of holy badges in the wordless heavenly book. The creation jade disc emitted a dazzling light. It spun and instantly fell into Ling Xiao's palm. The creation jade disc was as smooth as jade. It emitted a strange aura and integrated into Ling Xiao's body. It gave him an indescribable sense of comfort. Chapter 1542. Roar. The white elephant roared angrily, shaking the heavens. The chaotic saint path radiance in the surroundings dispersed instantly. Streaks of air were dense and the void trembled. An extremely ferocious aura surged toward Ling Xiao, causing his body to tremble. His eyes revealed a tinge of solemnity. If not for the protection of the good fortune jade disc, the white elephant's roar would have severely injured Ling Xiao. Bang! The white elephant landed on the huge stone platform. Powerful saint path aura permeated from its body. It walked around Ling Xiao and its gaze finally fell on the good fortune jade disc above Ling Xiao's head. Could it be that the white elephant recognizes the good fortune jade disc? Ling Xiao's gaze flickered, revealing a glimmer of light in his eyes. The psychic sacred bones that guarded the sacred spirit valley were the corpses of the ancient saints. Hence, the white elephant should have been an extremely powerful demon saint when it was alive. Ling Xiao originally thought that the white elephant would kill him out of anger. However, he did not expect the white elephant to stop after seeing the good fortune jade disc. The two bright golden lights in the white elephant's eyes were very mysterious. However, it seemed to be a little confused. Although the psychic sacred bones were known as psychic, they did not have any spiritual intelligence. Buzz. Two golden lights shot out from the white elephant's eyes and instantly merged into the good fortune jade disc. The good fortune jade disc was shrouded in a chaotic mist. In an instant, mysterious light bloomed from it and a strange vision appeared. A mysterious and vast world seemed to appear on the good fortune jade disc. In it, there was a huge white elephant that was tens of thousands of feet tall. Its limbs were like heavenly pillars, and it exuded an extremely majestic aura. It stood proudly and suppressed the world around it. Its aura was extremely terrifying. There were countless powerful ancient ferocious beasts around it. They were all torn apart by it, and turned into a bloody mist. Ferocious aura filled the sky. Could this be the white elephant's vision when it was alive? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he sighed softly. The white elephant must have been a peerless demon saint when it was alive. Its terrifying aura almost shattered the heavens and the earth. It was ancient and mysterious with unparalleled power. Buzz. On the good fortune jade disc, the mysterious scene changed again. A figure whose entire body was coiled in chaotic mist, whose face couldn't be seen clearly, possessed a monstrous aura that pushed through the stars in the sky, and he was like a supreme heavenly emperor that suppressed the world. He held the jade disc of fortune in his hand as he descended from the sky, and descended onto the white jade dragon elephant. Roar. The white jade draconic elephant roared, and the sky shook. Bright stars fell from the 9 heavens, and the void was shattered. Countless powerful figures appeared around that figure, and the white jade dragon elephant, and they all pounced towards them. Rumble. The good fortune jade disc emitted an immeasurable amount of light, as if it was the beginning of the world. Endless fog rose up. The figure looked indifferent. Every punch he threw seemed to be able to destroy this part of the world. It contained an incomparably terrifying energy fluctuation. The streaks of fist imprints were terrifying to the extreme. Almost every time a fist was blasted out, a great enemy would be killed by him, falling down from the 9 heavens, causing blood to dye the sky red. This is Taishu Emperor's fist. That figure, could it be the Taishu Emperor? Ling Xiao was shocked, and his eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. The peerless fist technique that the figure on the good fortune jade disc displayed was the Taishu Emperor's fist. The fist was like a dragon, pressing forward with an indomitable will. It could crush and kill all enemies, shocking the past and present. Ling Xiao's heart trembled, as if he had discovered an ancient secret. Could it be, this white jade dragon elephant is the Taishu Emperor's mount? Ling Xiao's heart trembled, and his gaze became gentle. However, there was no way he could enter the Taishu temple here. When he left the Void Saint world, perhaps he could ask Uncle Su about this white jade dragon elephant. Ling Xiao saw the Taishu Emperor riding on the white jade dragon elephant, conquering the heavens and crushing the earth. His divine power was invincible. However, what puzzled Ling Xiao was that the Void Saint world should have been a world built by the sages during the Antiquity Age, which far surpassed the era of the Great Void Emperor. After all, the Great Void Emperor was a figure from millions of years ago. Why would the white jade elephant eventually remain in the Void Saint world? There were many suspicious points in this matter that Ling Xiao could not figure out. Suddenly Ling Xiao's heart jolted. He released his heart world and slowly enveloped the white jade dragon elephant in front of him. The white jade dragon elephant seemed to have felt something. It did not resist, and the golden flame in its eyes became extremely gentle. Ling Xiao could feel the intimate fluctuation that the white jade dragon elephant gave off. I can control this white jade dragon elephant. Ling Xiao suddenly had a thought. Then he saw the white jade dragon elephant kneeling on the ground in front of him, as if it was asking Ling Xiao to ride on it. Ling Xiao had a surreal feeling. This white jade dragon elephant could be controlled by him? However, after thinking about it, Ling Xiao carefully climbed on the white jade dragon elephant's back. Let's go. Ling Xiao rode on the white jade dragon elephant, and suddenly thought of the Taishu Emperor's peerless figure on the good fortune jade disc. He could not help but feel extremely proud as he laughed out loud. Roar. The white jade dragon elephant roared into the sky. The roar seemed to be agitated and roaring at the same time. Following Ling Xiao's thoughts, the white jade dragon elephant shot up into the sky and charged towards the abyss. Rumble. The surroundings were filled with resplendent light. Ling Xiao rode on the white jade dragon elephant, but did not feel any bumps. It was as if he was riding on flat ground. His mind realm spread out. He could control the white jade dragon elephant with his thoughts. This was something that he did not expect. Ling Xiao was even more certain that this white jade dragon elephant was most likely the Taishu Emperor's mount. Otherwise, how could he control the white jade dragon elephant through his mind realm? Swoosh. Ling Xiao rode on the white jade dragon elephant and charged out of the abyss in an instant, landing in the sacred spirit valley. Looking at the scene in front of him, Ling Xiao's gaze became extremely cold. Rumble. Lu Yun and Wang Dao were still attacking Long Xiaoxiao. Seeing that the 9-colored boundary was about to shatter completely, Lu Yun and Wang Dao were startled by the white jade dragon elephant's roar. What? Lu Yun and Wang Dao's eyes were filled with disbelief. Long Outyin rode on the white jade dragon elephant and charged out of the abyss. How could this be possible? How could Long Outyin not die? And how could he control the white jade dragon elephant? Lu Yun and Wang Dao's hearts were filled with doubt and shock. However, they had a bad premonition in their hearts. This is bad. Big brother, these two bad guys want to capture me and torture me. Help me take revenge. Chapter 1543. Let's go. Lu Yun and Wang Dao looked at each other and made up their minds. They gave up attacking Long Xiaoxiao and flew out of the Sacred Spirit Valley. Both of them were depressed. They thought that with the heavenly holy incense, they could easily obtain a large number of sacred badges. However, everything changed when they arrived at the Sacred Spirit Valley. Long Xiaoxiao was covered in sacred treasures. Long Outyin was even weirder. Not only did he not die after falling into the abyss, he even subdued the white jade elephant with some unknown method. If they didn't escape, were they going to stay here and wait for death? The white jade elephant was extremely terrifying. It probably had the combat strength of a sage. Both of them didn't have the intention to fight against it. Want to leave? Kill them. Ling Zhao's eyes turned cold as he pointed at Lu Yun and Wang Dao. Roar. The white jade elephant roared and exuded a ferocious aura. Its four limbs shook the heavens and the earth. It instantly soared into the sky, surrounded by a vast holy path aura. Its huge trunk swept towards Lu Yun and Wang Dao. Break! Wang Dao's eyes were filled with killing intent. The sun saber in his hand shone brightly and slashed towards the elephant trunk. It was like a river of fire cutting through the sky. Clang! Sparks flew. The white jade elephant's trunk was very sturdy. It was like a divine whip as it lashed onto the sun saber. Unparalleled divine power exploded and numbed Wang Dao's arm. The sun saber almost flew out of his hand. Although the white jade elephant looked huge, it was extremely fast. After clashing with the sun saber, it came to Lu Yun's side. It lifted its sharp tusks and a dazzling saber light slashed towards Lu Yun's waist. Lu Yun's face turned solemn. The earth curse cauldron shone brightly and surrounded by Xianhuang Qi. Boom. The snow-white elephant tusks slashed onto the earth curse cauldron. The earth curse cauldron shook violently and flew back instantly. The white jade elephant's trunk once again swept towards Lu Yun. Lu Yun's expression changed. Majestic saintly way aura filled the air around him. Runes floated out of his palm, turning into blazing lightning in an instant, striking towards Ling Xiao on the white elephant jade. Lu Yun could already tell that Ling Xiao could control the white elephant jade. As long as he could kill Ling Xiao, it would be easy to escape. Lu Yun, your idea is not bad. Unfortunately, you still have to die. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His gaze was calm and collected. He didn't try to block it at all. Just as the blazing lightning was about to fall, the white elephant jade opened its mouth wide, as if it contained an entire world. It directly swallowed the lightning that filled the sky. Long Outyin, are you really going to fight us to the death? Wang Dao said coldly. Haven't we already been enemies for a long time? Ling Xiao sneered. Roar. At this moment, the white jade elephant let out another roar. This time, it opened its mouth and shot out a transparent sound wave bullet at an extremely fast speed. Even though Wang Dao had the sun saber in his hand, the sound wave still exploded on his chest. Puff! Wang Dao's face instantly turned pale. He spat out a mouthful of blood. He was severely injured. Swoosh! In the next moment, the white elephant jade charged forward. A snow-white saber radiance lit up in front of Wang Dao's eyes and directly cut him in half. Then the white elephant jade crashed into him, and he exploded into a mist of blood. Wang Dao, the pro-disciple of the Five Elements Saint sect, was dead. Long Outyin, I'm getting more and more curious. You can control the psychic sacred bone. I'm afraid if this news spreads, it won't be me who comes looking for you next time. It will be those sages. Lu Yun looked as if he had given up. He looked at Ling Xiao calmly with a strange look in his eyes. Do you believe me? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He could hear the threat in Lu Yun's words. However, if he were to tell others that a divine king could control the psychic sacred bone, no one would believe him. After all, this was simply impossible. The psychic sacred bone's strength was terrifying. It was comparable to a sage's strength. Even a sage would find it difficult to deal with it, let alone a divine king who could control it. It's enough that someone believes me. Long Outyan, I believe that we'll meet again one day. Lu Yin looked deeply at Ling Xiao and said faintly. He knew that he was no match for the white elephant jade. Moreover, it was impossible for him to escape from the white elephant jade. Therefore, he gave up resisting. Puff! The white elephant charged forward and smashed Lu Yin into a mist of blood. Soon Lu Yin and the earth curse cauldron disappeared from Ling Xiao's sight. Big brother, you're so powerful. Long Xiaoxiao flew towards Ling Xiao with admiration in her eyes. However, she seemed to be afraid and did not dare to get close to the white elephant jade. Xiaoxiao, don't worry. The white elephant jade is very gentle. Ling Xiao smiled. He carried Long Xiaoxiao over and placed her on the white elephant jade's back. Long Xiaoxiao looked around curiously and giggled. Xiaoxiao, look at this. Ling Xiao took out over 100 golden holy badges. Long Xiaoxiao's eyes widened in disbelief. Big brother, where did you get so many golden holy badges? Long Xiaoxiao exclaimed. Of course, I got them from the white elephant jade's nest. Ling Xiao smiled and told her about his experience in the abyss. However, he did not mention the creation jade disc. He only said that he knew a secret technique that could control the white elephant jade for a period of time. Big brother, you're so powerful. Even a sage could not control the psychic sacred bone. However, don't worry. I won't tell anyone. Long Xiaoxiao smiled obediently. Xiaoxiao is the best. I'll give you half of these golden holy badges. Ling Xiao smiled. Long Xiaoxiao was his new love. Therefore, even though these golden holy badges were precious, he still took them all out. Big brother, 3 golden holy badges are enough for me. Anyway, there's nothing fun in the illusionary sacred world. I'll come and see you when I miss you. I have many of these holy badges at home. You need them more than me. Long Xiaoxiao took 3 golden holy badges and returned the rest to Ling Xiao. All right, I won't stand on ceremony with you. Our time is almost up. Let's return to the gate of the realm of God. It's time to return to the realm of God. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Both he and Long Xiaoxiao only had 1 or 2 days left. It was time for them to return. The treasures obtained in the illusionary sacred world could be brought back to the realm of God through the gate of the realm of God, which was the white jade square that Ling Xiao came from. If they were killed in the illusionary sacred world or committed suicide, they would lose all their treasures. This was the reason why Long Xiaoxiao was unwilling to commit suicide previously. However, Ling Xiao, who possessed a heaven-defying treasure like the wordless heavenly book, was an exception. Chapter 1544. Roar. The white jade elephant roared, and there was a wave of dependence and reluctance in Ling Xiao's heart realm. The white jade elephant seemed to know that Ling Xiao was about to leave. You must be missing Emperor Taishu, right? Although I can't bring you away now, I will bring you away one day. Ling Xiao was a little sad as he thought to himself. This white jade dragon elephant was Emperor Taishu's mount. It had once accompanied Emperor Taishu on his conquest of the heavens, and was invincible. It was extremely loyal to Emperor Taishu. Even after its death, and its corpse had turned into a psychic saint bone, it still missed Emperor Taishu very much. Ling Xiao knew that the white jade elephant was under his command because of Ling Xiao's heart realm. Perhaps the white jade elephant thought that Ling Xiao was Emperor Taishu. Ling Xiao had tried earlier, and the white jade elephant seemed to be one with the void saint world. There was no way to bring it out with the wordless heavenly book. Let's go. Ling Xiao carried Long Xiaoxiao and turned to look at the white jade elephant. The white jade elephant was still standing in the sacred spirit valley. Its huge body seemed to be lonely and the golden radiance in its eyes seemed to be surging with emotions. Swoosh. Ling Xiao and Long Xiaoxiao soared into the sky and headed towards the door of the realm of God. Ling Xiao didn't look for Tian Gang, Yap Liangchen, King Xian and the others because their silver holy badges should have run out, and they should have returned to the realm of God. Ling Xiao and Long Xiaoxiao quickly returned to the white jade square where the door of the realm of God was. Oh kid? You actually came back alive? Not simple. Blind sniffed and suddenly turned to Ling Xiao with a smile. Blind, is your nose a dog's nose? Your eyes are blind but your heart isn't. Ling Xiao was stunned and looked at Blind with an unfriendly expression. Blind still looked like a swindler. He carried Cripple, who had lost his lower body, and sat on the white jade square to attract customers. However, everyone avoided him, and no one dared to come forward. Presumably, everyone knew how these two old men were like. Blind wasn't angry. He chuckled and said, "Kid, you went to the Sea of Enlightenment, right? Why don't you believe what I said? You suffered in the Sea of Tao Comprehension, didn't you? If I say you'll face a bloody calamity, then you'll face a bloody calamity. For the sake of reminding you, shouldn't you give me 100 saint sources to thank me?" When Ling Xiao heard Blind's words, he was so angry that his nose was about to become crooked. He snorted coldly and said, "Are you still dreaming? 180 saintly sources? How dare you say that? Not a single piece. Sigh, people's hearts are not what they used to be. Public morals are degenerating day by day. Young people nowadays really don't know how to respect their elders." Blind shook his head. He still had a smile on his face and was not angry. Cripple's eyes suddenly flashed as he patted Blind a few times. Blind's eyes flashed with surprise as he looked Ling Xiao up and down and said, "Kid, you can actually refine primal chaos energy. Are you walking the path of becoming a saint with your physical body? How daring!" Ling Xiao was shocked as he took a deep look at Cripple. Although Cripple had lost his legs, his body was emitting a dark golden light, as if he was an ascetic monk. He put his palms together and kept his mouth shut. He was communicating with Blind with his mind. Ling Xiao did not expect that Blind could see the primal chaos energy in Ling Xiao's body at a glance. Ling Xiao suddenly had a feeling in his heart that these two fellows were not simple at all. Becoming a saint with my physical body? It's not that easy. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. "Kid, my old friend said that if you become his disciple, he will guarantee that your physical body will become a saint within 10,000 years. Are you willing to accept?" Blind said slowly. "Cripple as his disciple?" Ling Xiao glanced at Cripple. Cripple put his palms together and lowered his head. His eyes were very calm and indifferent like a pool of water. Ling Xiao could not see the depth of his eyes. Cripple actually said that he could guarantee that Ling Xiao's physical body would become a saint within 10,000 years. If others knew this, they would probably go crazy with excitement and directly kneel down to become Ling Xiao's disciple. After all, 10,000 years was nothing. How many people in the realm of the gods could become a saint with their physical body? This cripple monk became more and more unfathomable in Ling Xiao's heart. Ling Xiao thought about it and still rejected. "Thank you for your kind intentions, senior. However, 10,000 years is too long. I only have 100 years. Within 100 years, I must become a saint with my physical body. Moreover, I already have a master." Ling Xiao's eyes had a trace of determination. "You want to become a saint with your physical body within 100 years? Young man, you're still too impetuous." Blind shook his head and smiled. To an ordinary godly state expert, they might not be able to break through to the half-saint realm within 10,000 years. However, Ling Xiao wanted to become a saint within 100 years. Moreover, it was the most difficult physical body. This was simply a fool's dream. However, Blind still felt a little regretful. He knew that this old friend had never opened his mouth to accept a disciple. Today, the only time he did, he was actually rejected. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and did not explain. 100 years was the time limit that he had set for himself. If he could not become a saint with his physical body within 100 years, he would not have enough strength to protect himself. At that time, he would probably become the enemy of the entire world. However, since you already have a master, that is indeed a regretful thing. Blind said regretfully. Since Cripple could speak, he believed that the talent of this young man before him was definitely not ordinary. However, it was a pity that this young man did not know what was good for him and directly rejected him. "Farewell, senior." Ling Xiao bowed to Blind and Cripple. He then turned around and led Long Xiaoxiao toward the passageway of the Void Saint world. "Big brother, those two old men are so strange," Long Xiaoxiao said with her eyes wide open. "How so?" Ling Xiao smiled faintly. "I don't know. I just feel very strange. It's as if I've seen them before. However, I don't have any impression of them at all. Long Xiaoxiao thought about it, and was very puzzled. You've seen them before? Perhaps. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as a glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. Standing in front of the passageway of the Void Saint World, Long Xiaoxiao looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of reluctance and said, Big brother, you must remember to come to the demon world to look for me. Xiaoxiao, don't worry. When I become a saint, I will definitely head to the demon world. Ling Xiao nodded and smiled. After receiving Ling Xiao's promise, Long Xiaoxiao looked back with every step she took and reluctantly walked into the passageway of the Void Saint World. Her entire body turned into a dazzling light and disappeared. It's time to go back. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he also entered the passageway. Boom. Ling Xiao felt a dazzling light explode. His physical body seemed to be disintegrating. Then his primordial spirit was enveloped by a gentle light. In an instant, he pierced through the layers of void and left the Void Saint World. Chapter 1545. Rumble. A powerful force flowed into Ling Xiao's body. Chaotic saber Dao filled the air, and the aura around him rose. He had reached the limit of the heavenly god realm, and could break through to the divine king realm at any time. Although he did not bring back his cultivation from the Void Saint World, he brought back a portion of the chaotic energy. This allowed Ling Xiao's cultivation to become more solid. Just the hundreds of days of cultivation in the Void Sacred World was equivalent to decades of hard work. In particular, understanding the chaotic energy and the mystery of the physical sage realm was Ling Xiao's greatest gain from this trip. However, Ling Xiao did not choose to break through. Instead, he suppressed the fluctuation of his cultivation, and his cultivation remained at the great circle of the heavenly god realm. After all, this was the Spacetime College. It was inconvenient to break through here, especially when Ling Xiao and Shi Bufan had many grudges against each other. The Void Saint World is really a place of fortune. Fortunately, I obtained enough golden holy badges this time. Ling Xiao exclaimed. With the help of the Void Saint World, it was not impossible for him to become a divine sage within 100 years. Ling Xiao pushed open the door of the secret room and immediately saw Tiangang, King Xian, and the rest outside. Tong Yuan and Han Li were also looking forward to it. Junior brother Long, you're finally back. Ha ha ha. Tiangang laughed out loud. They had already calculated the date of Ling Xiao's return. Therefore, they had been waiting outside the secret room to protect Ling Xiao. Seeing Ling Xiao appear, everyone was very happy. Where did Yi Liangchen go? Ling Xiao was stunned. He did not see Yi Liangchen among the crowd. Junior brother Long, Junior brother Yi left because he had something urgent to attend to. He asked us to pass a message to you. It seems like his old man is looking for him. He will look for you at the War God Hall after he's done. Tiangang said slowly. He left because he had something to attend to? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he nodded. Long Outtian, how was your trip? Tong Yuan, Han Li, and the rest looked at Ling Xiao expectantly. The harvest this time is not bad. Ling Xiao smiled as he recounted everything that had happened in the Void Sacred World. However, he skipped over some key places, such as the Sacred Spirit Valley. Even so, everyone was still shocked when they heard it. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. I didn't expect Junior Brother Long to be so powerful. He killed the inner disciples of the Heavenly Incantation Sect and the Five Elements Saint Sect in the Void Saint World. Zhou Daoji and the others heaved a sigh. They originally thought that although Ling Xiao was stronger than them, it was probably only by a little. After all, they were all geniuses and had their own pride. However, after the Academy Tournament and the Void Sacred World, they realized that the difference between them and Ling Xiao was like the difference between heaven and earth. Even their senior brothers Tiangang and Xian Wang, who were peerless, paled in comparison to Ling Xiao. Junior brother Long has become the champion of the Academy Tournament. According to the rules, as long as he enters the War God Temple, an exception will be made for him to become a true disciple. Ha ha ha. Our Ares College has finally produced a peerless genius. This time, I want to see if those senior brothers and sisters of the War God Temple still dare to look down on us. Everyone was very excited. Their eyes were filled with excitement, But they were also complaining about the disciples of the War God Temple. The inner disciples of the War God Temple had been to Ares College before, but they were all arrogant and had been looked down upon. Naturally, they did not have a good impression of the inner disciples of the War God Temple. This time in the Void Saint world, I was lucky to obtain some holy badges. Dean, Elder Han, and all the senior brothers will each have one. I hope that you will all be able to improve. Ling Xiao smiled. With a flash of light in his hand, a dozen silver holy badges appeared in the air. Each of them shone brightly and had an ancient and mysterious aura around them. Tong Yuan, Han Li, and the others trembled. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Junior Brother Long, are these the holy badges you obtained in the Sacred Spirit Valley? They are too precious. You should keep them for yourself. Although Zhou Daoji and the others' eyes were filled with desire, they still rejected Ling Zhao's offer with a bitter smile. One had to know that even the inner disciples of the immortal sacred grounds found it difficult to obtain a silver holy badge. In the end, only 10 holy badges were given out in the Academy tournament. They did not expect Ling Xiao to give out 10 holy badges in one go. This was really generous. Don't be so polite, everyone. I have obtained many holy badges this time. Dean, Elder Han, and all the senior brothers and sisters have taken good care of me. These holy badges will be of great use to you. So please don't reject them. Ling Xiao said seriously. He had over 100 golden holy badges in his hands, and over 100 silver holy badges as well. Taking out a dozen silver holy badges was a piece of cake for Ling Xiao. Moreover, Ling Xiao had other plans in mind. The next step was to enter the War God Temple. According to Senior Brother Chong He, Void Pierce and Senior Brother Chong He, War God Temple was probably in a state of decline. Ling Xiao alone would not be able to save the temple. Therefore, he needed a group of people. The people in front of him were peerless talents, temperaments, and methods. As long as they were given enough time to grow, they would definitely become the pillars of War God Temple in the future. Ling Xiao hoped that they would all be able to enter War God Temple. Since Long Outyin has already said so, just accept it. You can repay this kindness slowly. Tong Yuan and Han Li looked at each other and smiled. They each took out a silver holy badge. The two of them were rather carefree and had long treated Ling Xiao as one of their own. They had been stuck in the great circle of the Divine King realm for countless years. This silver holy badge was their opportunity to break through. When everyone saw that the Dean and Elder Han Li had accepted the silver badges, they also took one each. They looked at Ling Xiao with gratitude and secretly remembered it in their hearts. Although you have gained a lot in the Void Saint world this time, you have also offended the Heavenly Curse sect, the Spacetime Heavenly Gate, and the Five Elements Saint sect. This is not a place to stay for long. Let's leave quickly. Tong Yuan said in a serious tone, his expression turning solemn. Everyone's expression turned serious. Ling Xiao had killed so many inner disciples of the Heavenly Curse sect and the Five Elements Saint sect. It was hard to guarantee that they would not fly into a rage out of humiliation and order the people from the Heavenly Curse Academy and the Five Elements Saint sect to make things difficult for them. After all, the Ares College had always been at odds with them. There were constant conflicts between them. If they continued to stay here, they would probably be in big trouble. Chapter 1546. On a mountain peak in the Spacetime College, clouds and mist lingered around it. Under an ancient pine tree, the Dean of the Heavenly Curse College, Sima Bo, and the Dean of the Five Elements College, Zhuge Ming, sat opposite each other. Brother Zhuge, Tong Yuan and the rest have already returned to the Ares College. Have you made the necessary arrangements? Sima Bo smiled faintly. Don't worry. Everything has been arranged. With the twin demons of the desert north, nothing will go wrong. Zhuge Ming's eyes glowed brightly. His face was filled with confidence as if everything was under his control. That's good. If we don't get rid of Long Outyin, he will be a huge threat to us in the future. Sima Bo said leisurely. With the twin demons of the desert north, Tong Yuan and Han Li are no match for them. Moreover, Long Outyin is only in the great circle of the heavenly god realm. He won't be able to escape. Zhuge Ming smiled faintly. Then I'll wait for Brother Zhuge's good news. Sima Bo nodded with a smile. His eyes flickered with a faint light. Ling Xiao and the rest left the Space-Time College and headed straight for Yuankong City. Yuankong City was the closest city to the Space-Time College. There was a void teleportation array that could be used to return to the Supreme Celestial Region. However, when Ling Xiao and the rest arrived at Yuankong City, they were informed that the void teleportation array in Yuankong City had been damaged and was being repaired. It would take at least a few years for it to be repaired. If they wanted to continue using the teleportation array, they could only go to Yuanlong City, which was a few 100,000 miles away from Yuankong City. Let's go to Yuanlong City. Tong Yuan's eyes flashed as he summoned a void treasure ship and prepared to head to Yuanlong City. They couldn't afford to waste time here. After returning to the Ares College, they would head to the War God Temple. If they were delayed for a few years, they would miss the opportunity to enter the War God Temple. With the speed of the void treasure ship, it would only take 1 or 2 days to cover the distance of a few 100,000 miles. Whoosh! The void treasure ship shone brightly and turned into a stream of light, shooting towards Yuanlong City like a bolt of lightning. Dean, something's wrong. The void teleportation array in Yuankong City didn't break earlier or later, but now, I'm afraid someone is behind it. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. Are you saying that someone doesn't want us to take the void teleportation array from Yuankong City? Han Li's expression also changed slightly. It should be. Space-Time College is only tens of thousands of miles away from Yuankong City. If we use Yuankong City's teleportation array to return to Ares College, I'm afraid those who want to deal with us won't have any chance at all. However, the distance between Yuankong City and Yuanlong City is a few 100,000 li. There are mountains in between. If they want to ambush us on the way, it will be very easy. Ling Xiao sneered. Everyone's expression changed. Ling Xiao's guess was very likely to be correct. Based on the Heavenly Curse Academy, Space-Time Academy, and 5 Elements Academy's habits, it was very likely that they would attempt to intercept and kill him midway. If that were the case, he would most likely be in trouble. After all, they knew everyone from Ares College very well. If they really sent someone to kill them, they would at least be at the level of a half-saint. If a half-saint really appeared, it would be a disaster for Ling Xiao and the rest. Tong Yuan and Han Li's expressions turned serious. They knew how serious the situation was. I'll immediately inform the 2 martial uncles. I hope they can make it in time. Tong Yuan was extremely decisive. He used a secret technique to contact the Void Pierce stage experts and Chonghe while changing the direction of the spatial treasure ship and flying towards another huge city. According to their guess, the route to Yuanlong City was the most likely location for an ambush. Then, it might be better to change to another huge city. Whoosh! The spatial treasure ship shone brightly. It didn't fly towards Yuanlong City. Instead, it flew towards the Purple Smoke City, which was even further away. The Purple Smoke City was over 1,000,000 li asterisk, 500 m per li, away from here. However, it would still take a little more time. However, the bad premonition in Ling Xiao's heart was getting stronger and stronger. What exactly was it? Ling Xiao tried his best to calm himself down. He even spread out his heart realm, trying to find the flaw that he had overlooked. If someone really wanted to intercept and kill them midway, they would have to know their location. However, how would they know where they were? Ling Xiao suddenly thought of something. He opened his eyes abruptly and said, "Senior brothers and sisters, take out the treasures that you obtained from the grand competition of the 100 academies and show me." As soon as Ling Xiao's voice fell, everyone who was also extremely smart immediately thought of the key point. Other than Ling Xiao, Tiangang, Yi Liangchen, and King Xian who obtained the Holy Badge and the Holy Liquid, the others each obtained a powerful weapon. All of them were half-step sacred treasures. Ling Xiao took those half-step sacred treasures and carefully observed them. Indeed, he found that those half-step sacred treasures were emitting a strange wave. Damn it! The Space-Time Academy is really shameless. Ling Xiao's eyes instantly became bone-chilling cold. He directly kept all the half-step sacred treasures into the wordless heavenly book, completely blocking that strange wave. When everyone heard Ling Xiao's discovery, they were filled with righteous indignation. Their eyes were filled with anger. They didn't expect that the Spacetime Academy would be so despicable as to leave a backup plan in the half-step sacred treasures. If Ling Xiao didn't discover it, they would probably still be in the dark. I'm afraid that we have already been exposed. Even if we go to the Purple Smoke City now, it's meaningless. Tong Yuan's face was gloomy and his eyes were filled with anger. The Spacetime Academy was really too despicable this time. How could they do such a thing? Shameless to the extreme. Long Outyin, give me those weapons. Elder Han, and I will lure those people away. You guys quickly go to the Yuanlong City and leave by the void teleportation formation. Tong Yuan suddenly gritted his teeth and said directly to Ling Xiao. No. Dean, the people they sent this time are at least half-step sacred experts. You guys are no match for them at all. Leave it to me. You guys go to the Yuanlong City, and I will lure them away. Ling Xiao flatly refused with a trace of coldness in his eyes. You? No. We are no match for a half-step sacred expert. I'm afraid that you are even less capable. You will only die if you lure them away. Tong Yuan and Han Li hurriedly said. What a joke. Although Ling Xiao was extremely talented and had powerful combat strength, he was only in the complete divine realm. There was a huge gap between him and a half-step sacred expert. Letting Ling Xiao lure them away was tantamount to courting death. Trust me. This is our only chance of survival. Dean, Elder Han, time is running out. I have a way to escape. You don't have to worry about my safety. Hurry to the Yuanlong City. We will meet there. Chapter 1547. Junior Brother Long? Tiangang Zhou Daoji, and the others' eyes turned red as they clenched their fists. They hated themselves for not being strong enough to allow Ling Xiao to protect them. Only Lord Xian remained calm. She said slowly, believe in him. He can always create miracles. He won't joke around with his life. If he says he can escape unscathed, he will. Our priority now is to leave this place and not drag him down. Let's go. Tong Yuan and Han Li roared. Their eyes were filled with killing intent. They were extremely worried, but they could only choose to believe in Ling Xiao's words. Whoosh. The void treasure ship shone brightly as it was pushed to the extreme by Tong Yuan. It sped towards the direction of Yuanlong City. In the other direction, Ling Xiao took out the few sage-to-be treasures and carried them on his back. His entire body was like a bolt of golden lightning, moving at an extremely fast speed. If you want to kill me, then come at me. Let's see who will live and who will die. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with killing intent. The reason why he chose to be the bait alone was not because he wanted to die, but because he was confident that he could escape unscathed. The heaven-shrouding secret skill allowed him to blend into the heavens and earth. The teleportation secret skill gave him extreme speed. As long as he could shake off his pursuers, Ling Xiao could escape unscathed. Moreover, if he could not escape, Ling Xiao could communicate with the Heart Realm and hide in the Void Temple. Even a true sage would not be able to kill him, let alone a sage-to-be. However, Ling Xiao would not expose the Void Temple unless he had no other choice. If he did, there would be no place for him in the realm of the gods. Now, what Ling Xiao needed to do was to distance himself from Tong Yuan, and the rest as much as possible to create an opportunity for them to escape. This was an extremely ancient mountain range. The peaks rose steeply from the ground like divine swords piercing through the heavens. The surroundings were shrouded in clouds and towering ancient trees. Powerful roars of beasts could be heard from the mountain range. They emitted a ferocious aura that caused the heavens and earth to tremble slightly. Ling Xiao flew towards the depths of the mountain range at an extremely fast speed. His entire body was like a bolt of golden lightning. Rumble. After flying for over 100,000 kilometers, Ling Xiao suddenly felt an icy and evil presence descend from the sky, enveloping him. Dazzling light shone in the sky, causing the void to tremble. Two figures with towering auras descended from the sky, instantly blocking Ling Xiao's path. It was a man and a woman. The man wore a black robe and his demonic hair danced in the wind. He wore an iron hoop on his head and his aura was extremely cold. His face looked extremely sinister, and his eyes were extremely cold. He held a huge demon-subduing pestle in his hand. The woman was also wearing a black robe. Her figure was very hot, revealing a large area of snow-white skin. Her appearance was very beautiful, and could even be said to be flirtatious. Her entire body was emitting a mature aura. However, both of their cultivations were extremely strong. Both of them exuded a faint holy light. Ling Xiao could tell that the man was a second revolution half-saint while the woman was a first revolution half-saint. Both the Heavenly Curse Academy and the Five Elements Academy had mobilized 2 half-saints at the same time. You're the only one? The black-robed man's eyes flashed coldly, revealing a trace of shock. Naturally, he had followed the fluctuations left on the weapon. However, he did not expect to see only Ling Xiao. It seems that the people from the Ares Academy are not stupid. They actually discovered the traces left behind by them. However, the Ares Academy is not a good thing either. They actually sent such a handsome young man to his death. I really pity them. The black-robed woman giggled. Her voice was as clear as a silver bell, and was filled with charm. It made one's heart flutter. Those so-called immortal sanctuaries and various academies are just a bunch of sanctimonious people. However, we did not miss out on this. This kid is Long Outyan. As long as we kill him, our mission will be considered complete. The black-robed man sneered. You are the people sent by the Heavenly Curse Academy, the Spacetime Academy, and the Five Elements Academy to kill us? Ling Xiao asked curiously as he looked at the 2 people in front of him. It seems that you are not stupid. Long Outyan, the champion of the Academy tournament. Rumor has it that he has a flawless sacred treasure on him. Why don't you give that sacred treasure to me, and I will give you a quick death? The black-robed woman giggled. Old witch, you are already hundreds of thousands of years old. I am not even 50 years old this year. You want to be my sister? You are really shameless. Ling Xiao sneered. However, his words were like a knife, instantly stabbing into the black-robed woman's heart, causing her face to turn gloomy. What a sharp-tongued kid. Since you are so reckless, I guarantee that you will suffer a fate worse than death. The black-robed woman said through gritted teeth. Her eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Long Outyan, if you die today, don't blame us. You can only blame yourself for being too weak and offending people you shouldn't have. Remember, the people who killed you are the twin demons of the Desert North. The black-robed man said coldly. The twin demons of the Desert North? Never heard of them. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. His eyes were still incomparably calm. Old ghost, why are you talking so much nonsense with him? Just capture him and torture him. The black-robed woman sneered. Her eyes were filled with incomparable resentment. Boom. The black-robed woman exuded a black baleful aura. It was as if ghosts were wailing and wolves were howling around her. A short sword appeared in her hand, and she charged at Ling Xiao. Buzz. Ling Xiao did not dare to be careless. Facing a half-step saint expert, he directly took out the mysterious Kuan sword. The mysterious Kuan sword blazed with a brilliant light. Sword chi rose and slashed at the black-robed woman. Clang. Dazzling sparks exploded. The short sword in the black-robed woman's hand buzzed and trembled. Runes exploded one after another, and the light dimmed. A flawless sacred treasure? The black-robed woman's eyes lit up, revealing an extremely greedy expression. Kid, prepare to die. The black-robed man also roared. At the same time, he charged at Ling Xiao. The demon-subduing pestle in his hand exuded an incomparably vigorous light. With a divine force that could uproot a mountain, he chopped at Ling Xiao's head. Boom. Terrifying fluctuations spread out, and the surrounding mountains suddenly exploded. Ling Xiao's mysterious Kuan sword exuded a majestic holy light. When it collided with the demon-subduing pestle, he felt his arm go numb. It was as if an extremely cold force was spreading into his body. The twin demons of the Desert North joined forces, and instantly caused great pressure on Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao was somewhat in danger. Chapter 1548. Ling Xiao could feel that the twin devils of Desert North cultivated an extremely sinister cultivation technique. It was similar to the Tao of Extreme Yin, but it wasn't pure. It was mixed with some eerie ghost chi. Even so, Ling Xiao was no match for them. The difference in cultivation is too great. Ling Xiao sighed. He didn't turn around and run away immediately. His eyes became even more dazzling. Rumble. A powerful aura spread out from Ling Xiao's body. His aura rose and his strength became more terrifying and violent. It was as if it was boiling. In an instant, he broke through the limit of the heavenly god realm. Ling Xiao stopped suppressing his cultivation and broke through at this moment. As Ling Xiao's aura surged, heaven and earth reacted instantly. The sky shook and lightning flashed in the 9 heavens. Wind and clouds surged as heaven and earth changed. Wind and lightning surged. Terrifying lightning spread out in the surroundings, containing an extremely terrifying aura of destruction. This brat dares to break through to the Divine King realm at this moment. Isn't he afraid of dying in the Divine King tribulation? The black-robed man's face changed. The Divine King realm was the peak of the divine path. When ordinary people broke through to the Divine King realm, they would prepare for a long time. They would choose a secluded place, and even have the protection of their sex elders. Breaking through to the Divine King realm like this was almost certain death. The black-robed man didn't expect Ling Xiao to break through so casually. What kind of Divine King tribulation is this? Why is it so terrifying? The black-robed woman looked at the scene in the sky and her face changed. She felt her scalp go numb and her eyes were filled with disbelief. Ling Xiao stopped suppressing his cultivation and communicated with the divine energy around him. In an instant, endless divine light shot out and thick lightning bolts fell from the 9 heavens. Those lightning bolts were like mountains, exuding chaotic luster. They intertwined with each other as if forming a vast chaotic lightning world. They pressed down on Ling Xiao. The lightning bolts lit up the 9 heavens and crossed the heaven and earth. They fell like heavenly pillars, exuding an extremely terrifying aura that wanted to destroy everything. This wasn't an ordinary lightning tribulation, it was a divine punishment. It was as if Ling Xiao had triggered some kind of forbidden power. The lightning in the sky was too terrifying. It was densely packed and intertwined with each other. At the same time, countless mysterious symbols appeared. Vaguely, mysterious figures appeared and suppressed Ling Xiao. Kill! Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with cold, murderous intent. He didn't face the lightning tribulation head-on. Instead, his body was surrounded by a monstrous aura. Bathed in the lightning tribulation, he charged towards the duo demons of Mabe. Is he crazy? Doesn't he know that the presence of someone during the tribulation will increase the power of the lightning tribulation? The black-robed woman shrieked, her eyes filled with disbelief. Rumble! She wanted to escape, but she was still a step too late. Streaks of blazing lightning instantly enveloped her entire body, and the lightning poured down like a waterfall. When the lightning struck the top of the woman's head, she immediately screamed. Her skull shattered and blood spurted out. She felt intense pain all over her body. She couldn't help but scream. Ah! The black-clothed woman screamed miserably. She had cultivated a sinister cultivation technique. So her cultivation technique wasn't pure. So, she was most afraid of this kind of pure yang lightning tribulation. She had broken through to the first revolution half-saint realm. However, she still remembered the pain she had experienced when she had undergone nirvana. It had almost made her collapse. Boom! Ling Xiao shot out a fist. The blazing lightning fist was extremely terrifying. It directly bombarded the black-clothed woman's chest and opened up a huge bloody hole. Her entire body felt as if it had been struck by lightning, and she was sent flying. At the same time, streaks of lightning struck down. The chaotic lightning was incomparably terrifying. It surged into Ling Xiao's body. The destructive power spread out and wanted to extinguish his vitality completely. This wasn't an ordinary divine king's tribulation. This was a divine punishment that could destroy the world. It was the wrath of God. It was extremely terrifying. The twin devils of the desert north felt their scalps go numb, and their bodies trembled. Long out Yin, you're courting death. The black-robed man roared. His eyes were filled with ice-cold killing intent. He had already escaped from the range of the lightning tribulation. However, when he saw that the black-clothed woman had been severely injured by Ling Xiao, he immediately braved the lightning tribulation and rushed into the lightning tribulation again. Then he held the black-clothed woman in his arms. Die. Ling Xiao's gaze was extremely icy cold. He was bathed in the lightning that covered the sky, while numerous mysterious symbols lit up at the center of his palm. In an instant, Lightning covered the sky as he blasted a fist towards the black-robed man. Ling Xiao hadn't just cultivated the 5 heavenly lightning technique, he'd even obtained the inheritance of the Lightning Emperor technique. The Lightning Emperor technique contained the quintessence of the Lightning Tao. So, to a certain extent, he was able to control this terrifying lightning tribulation. Boom! The black-robed man's expression changed. The demon-subduing pestle in his hand shone resplendently as it smashed down towards Ling Xiao. At the same time, he fled towards the outside of the lightning tribulation. Ling Xiao's fist smashed against the demon-subduing pestle. Instantly, dazzling lightning exploded on the demon-subduing pestle. Ling Xiao's momentum didn't decrease at all. He utilized a teleportation technique, and his figure was swift to the extreme like a ghost. He arrived before the black-robed man in an instant, and then his fist smashed against the black-robed man's body. Crack! The Saint Tao barrier on the black-robed man's body directly exploded. His entire body staggered, and then he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood before he was instantly blasted flying. Damn it! The twin demons of Desert North's eyes were filled with cold murderous intent. However, they had also suffered a great loss. They didn't dare to charge into the lightning tribulation again. And each of them flew into the distance. The two of them were incomparably sullen. The infamous twin demons of Desert North had actually been reduced to such a sorry state by a mere heavenly god realm brat. If news of this were to spread, they would probably become the biggest joke in the world. They secretly decided that if Long Outyin was struck to death by the Divine King Tribulation, then so be it. However, if Long Outyin was really able to pass the Divine King Tribulation, then they would definitely torture Ling Xiao properly to vent the anger in their hearts. This is definitely not an ordinary 9th grade Divine King Tribulation. Could it be the legendary Earth grade Divine King Tribulation, or Heaven grade Divine King Tribulation? The black-robed woman's eyes were filled with incomparable shock. The two of them stood on a mountain peak in the distance. The lightning that filled the sky was like a vast world, emitting an incomparably terrifying aura that made their scalps tingle. Ling Xiao seemed to know that he couldn't catch up with the twin demons of Desert North, so he simply ignored them and began to focus on passing the Divine King Tribulation. The black-robed man and the black-robed woman became more and more shocked. This kind of Divine King Tribulation seemed to be about to destroy the world, destroying all life, and causing the world to revert to chaos. It was extremely terrifying. It was something that they had never seen before, and their hearts were filled with shock. Chapter 1549. Hong long asterisk. The heavens and earth were getting darker and darker. Dazzling lightning exploded one after another. The lightning danced like silver snakes across the sky, forming a vast and majestic world of lightning. Ling Xiao was bathed in the lightning. Golden clouds lingered around his body. His blood qi was incomparably majestic. His eyes were extremely bright and his black hair fluttered in the wind. He threw a punch towards the lightning. The dazzling fist was like a sun in the sky, striking across the 9 heavens. Those thunderbolts contained a terrifying destructive power. At first, they were black thunderbolts, but later on, silver and gold thunderbolts appeared in the center. Every strike that landed on Ling Xiao's body caused his flesh to explode, and his entire body became dripping with blood. This was the most terrifying lightning tribulation. It wanted to wipe out all life. Even though Ling Xiao's body was extremely strong, he couldn't withstand the lightning tribulation. He was badly mutilated. This was because Ling Xiao's body was extremely strong. If it was an ordinary Divine King expert, he wouldn't be able to withstand the lightning tribulation for long. He would be turned into dust very soon. Buzz asterisk. There seemed to be a brilliant light in Ling Xiao's chest. It was like a furnace, but also like a vast sea. It provided Ling Xiao with the support of powerful divine power, and at the same time, it turned into a devouring vortex, constantly devouring the lightning in the sky. That was the power of the sky-devouring secret technique. Ling Xiao had activated it to the extreme. At the same time, the Lightning Emperor technique had also erupted. Ling Xiao hadn't had the chance to use the Lightning Emperor technique since he had obtained the inheritance. Now, facing such a terrifying lightning tribulation, it finally appeared in the world. Asterisk boom asterisk Ling Xiao stepped on the lightning. His hands pulled across the sky. Suddenly, a dazzling lightning spear appeared in his palm. He held the lightning spear in his hand and destroyed the lightning tribulation that fell from the 9 heavens. He then turned it into the purest lightning energy to devour and refine. An ancient and mysterious aura emanated from Ling Xiao's body. His glabella glowed, and a purple lightning mark appeared. The majestic divine power around him seemed to have merged with the lightning around him, allowing him to quickly comprehend the power of lightning and travel through the sea of lightning, minimizing the damage done to him. Asterisk Hong Long Long asterisk Ling Xiao's fist was like a dragon. A thunder dragon as thick as a mountain range roared and rushed out from his fist, attacking the 9 heavens. Within the dazzling fist, there seemed to be mysterious lightning runes that appeared. They contained terrifying energy fluctuations. With the explosion of the sky-devouring secret technique and the lightning emperor technique, the lightning in the sky seemed to be unable to cause any harm to Ling Xiao. Instead, it began to turn into pure and majestic energy, constantly repairing his damaged body. This kind of divine king is too terrifying. Is this guy really just a disciple of Ares? I think he has the potential to become the saint of the saint. The black-robed man said slowly. No wonder the employer wants us to get rid of this long-out yin. If he doesn't die, I'm afraid he will become a big problem sooner or later. The black-robed woman nodded. Xiao. When he grows. And the black-robed man's eyes revealed a trace of cold-killing intent. Originally, he was only hired to take Ling Xiao's life. However, at this moment, he really wanted to kill Ling Xiao. If Ling Xiao did not die and escaped, they would not be able to eat or sleep in peace. Offending such a peerless genius was not going to end well. Don't worry. This divine king tribulation is the power of heaven and earth. It contains Tao rhymes. That's why it can hurt us. Once the divine king tribulation is over, we'll be able to kill a mere early divine king brat no matter how talented he is. The black-robed woman sneered. All right. In order to prevent him from escaping, I'll take out this inescapable trap array talisman. We've paid such a huge price. When the time comes, we'll definitely get those few colleges to compensate us. The black-robed man gritted his teeth. His face revealed a trace of pain. A black jade talisman appeared in his palm. Inescapable trap array talisman. It was a sage talisman that the black-robed man had obtained from an ancient ruin. It contained the sage energy. Only a sage could break out of it. Those below the sage level, even a 9th revolution half-saint could not break out of it. The black-robed man had paid a huge price in order to kill Ling Xiao. Boom. The black jade talisman shone brightly and rose up in an instant. Black lines curled around the talisman and shot out in all directions. Hua Chen had formed an invisible talisman array talisman that enveloped the entire area. Although the talisman array talisman was powerful, it was a one-time use treasure. The black-robed man had never used it before. Husband, look at what that is. The black-robed woman's body suddenly trembled. Her eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. Rumble. Boom. Boom. Above the 9 heavens, a vast sea of lightning surged violently. Numerous lightning dragons soared across the sky. Heaven and earth seemed to be angered by Ling Xiao. An even more terrifying aura descended. In the middle of the sea of lightning, an incomparably dazzling light bloomed. Heaven and earth trembled. From the center of the sea of lightning, a mysterious fluctuation spread out. From the center of the sea of lightning, terrifying figures walked out. There were a total of 9 figures. Every one of them was bathed in lightning. Their aura was monstrous. When they appeared in this area, it was as if the heavens were about to submit to them. This was a kind of peerless aura that could sweep through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. The figures of the 9 supremes had appeared once again. When Ling Xiao was in the war god's boundary, he had seen the figures of the 9 supremes. At that time, the figures of the 9 supremes were very illusory. He could only see the blurry figures. However, they had given Ling Xiao great pressure. Now, when Ling Xiao was about to break through to the Divine King boundary, the figures of the 9 supremes had appeared once again. Moreover, they were more solid than before. Although Ling Xiao still could not see the faces of the 9 supremes, He could vaguely tell that there were men and women among the 9 supremes. Their auras were all different. However, they all stood at the peak of the extreme grade and possessed invincible strength. Just their aura alone made Ling Xiao's heart tremble. When Ling Xiao was still in the mortal realm, although he had seen the figures of the 9 supremes during the tribulation, he did not understand how terrifying the 9 supremes were. Now that his strength was thousands of times stronger than before, he still felt small in front of the figures of the 9 supremes. It was like a lowly ant looking up at a divine dragon that roared in the 9 heavens. The difference was like heaven and earth. Let's fight! Ling Xiao's eyes became brighter and brighter. They were filled with a monstrous battle intent. The stronger the pressure, the more his battle intent soared. If he could not even defeat the seals of the 9 supremes, how could he attain the Tao and become a saint in the future? Or even become the peerless and supreme supremes of all time? Chapter 1551. Rumble. One of the great emperors raised his fist and slammed it down on Ling Xiao. It looked like a calm punch, but it seemed like it was going to destroy 3,000 worlds. Whoosh! Another great emperor pointed his finger, and a dazzling sword light pierced through heaven and earth. It seemed to have come from the river of time, and it contained an eternal and indestructible aura. Rumble! 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 Dazzling sword light, sky-burning flames, and divine light that could annihilate everything. They all slammed down on Ling Xiao. The 9 great emperors attacked at the same time, and the terrifying fluctuations seemed to be able to annihilate everything. These were the imprints left behind by the 9 peerless great emperors in the divine realm. Now that Ling Xiao had angered the will of the divine realm, the imprints of the 9 great emperors had descended, and they wanted to completely destroy Ling Xiao. This was the might of heaven and earth, and it was the invincible might of the great emperors. Kill! Ling Xiao's blood was boiling, and there was a trace of madness in his eyes. The vast golden divine light around him rose like the sea, and he punched the illusory figures of the 9 great emperors. Rumble! The most intense and terrifying battle erupted. Ling Xiao had encountered one of the greatest dangers in his life. Facing the peerless attacks of the 9 great emperors, even though Ling Xiao fought crazily and used all his trump cards, he was still severely injured. Gotcha! His chest caved in, and his bones were broken. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere, and his glabella dimmed. He was severely injured by the sword light, and his sea of consciousness was almost pierced. His flesh and blood seemed to be melted by the flames in the sky, and he saw the vast sword light that could annihilate everything in the sky. If it was an ordinary person, they would have given up in despair. However, Ling Xiao did not give up. His gaze was still incomparably resolute. Although his body was broken, there was a faint flow of chaotic energy. At the same time, the sky-devouring secret technique was unleashed, and it kept devouring the purest lightning energy in Zhou Tian, providing Ling Xiao with great power. Could that be a peerless great emperor? The black-robed man's figure could not help but tremble, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Since the last great emperor of the human race died millions of years ago, there had not been another great emperor in the divine realm. Many people had only seen the descriptions of great emperors in ancient records. Suppressing the ancient times, invincible in the heavens and the earth, unparalleled in the world. There were countless descriptions, but none of them could describe the image of the great emperor. Now when the black-robed man saw the 9 figures in the sea of lightning, his body trembled uncontrollably. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He knew that even a saint wouldn't have this kind of demeanor and aura. Perhaps only the legendary invincible great emperor could have this kind of aura. Husband, why is this brat so strange? Those 9 figures are too terrifying. Could this be the legendary heaven stage divine king tribulation? The black-robed woman couldn't help but reveal a trace of shock in her eyes. Heavenly God King Tribulation. The legendary Heavenly God King Tribulation. Only those legendary princes and princesses would have a chance of encountering it. Moreover, they would definitely be able to corroborate their Tao and become a sage. They might even have the potential to become a great emperor. I've never seen a heaven stage divine king tribulation, but I'm afraid it's very possible. The black-robed man trembled. Now he felt a tinge of regret and uneasiness. After offending such a peerless heaven's favorite, could they really kill Ling Xiao? Husband, don't worry. If it's really the imprint of a great emperor, the imprint of the 9 great emperors would definitely be able to kill this brat. Can't you see that this brat has already encountered a tribulation and is about to die in the Divine King tribulation? Even if he doesn't die, he'll be at his weakest during the Divine King tribulation. If we want to kill him, it'll be very easy. The black-robed woman saw the hesitation and anxiety in the black-robed man's eyes and hurriedly said, "You're right. So what if he's a genius? A genius who hasn't matured. Even if he dies, it doesn't matter." The black-robed man nodded and his gaze turned cold again. Rumble. Ling Xiao fought fiercely in the sea of lightning. He was struck a few times and even fell into a situation where he was sure to die. However, in the end, he relied on his unyielding willpower to hold on. At the same time, Ling Xiao's heart realm spread out. The vast power of heaven and earth in the sea of lightning, and the imprint of the 9 great emperors were slowly imprinted in Ling Xiao's heart realm. Ling Xiao realized that his heart charm scripture was advancing by leaps and bounds. Soon, it reached the peak of the 3rd level, and naturally broke through to the 4th level. After reaching the 4th level, it didn't stop. The imprint of the 9 great emperors seemed to be extremely beneficial to Ling Xiao's heart realm. Very soon, the heart charm scripture broke through to the 5th level. At the 5th level of the heart charm scripture, Ling Xiao's heart force had even begun to interfere with reality and transform everything. It began to display an incomparably miraculous effect. The 6th level of the heart charm scripture, the heart realm divinity, was the heart saint realm. At that time, he would be able to erupt with even more power. It wouldn't be like now where it could only be used as a means of support for Ling Xiao. However, after breaking through to the 5th level of the heart charm scripture, the progress instantly became incomparably slow. In the sea of lightning, the imprint of the 9 great emperors seemed to have been depleted. After another fierce battle, the figures of the 9 great emperors finally disappeared in the sea of lightning. The lightning that filled the sky gradually dissipated. Ling Xiao's Divine King tribulation had also ended. Ling Xiao's cultivation had also reached the Divine King realm. A powerful feeling surged in his heart. It was as if the entire world was within his control. However, Ling Xiao looked at himself and couldn't help but smile bitterly. "I'm afraid I'll need a very long time to recover from this kind of injury." Dense cracks appeared all over Ling Xiao's body. It was like a broken mirror. Moreover, there was a strange power of lightning entangling his body. It prevented his physical body from recovering by itself. Hence, the recovery of his injuries was extremely slow. Ling Xiao knew that this was a Dao injury. He had to completely erase the power of the great Dao in order for his injuries to heal completely. Hence, although Ling Xiao had passed the Divine King tribulation, his current strength had decreased instead of increasing. It was even weaker than when he was in the great circle of the heavenly god realm. Ling Xiao looked at the twin demons of the desert north who were glaring at him from afar. He sighed in his heart. It seemed like he could only communicate with the heart realm and hide in the divine void world for a period of time. Suddenly, a black fog appeared from the void. It turned into a powerful black chain in an instant. It contained an extremely powerful and mysterious energy fluctuation, and sealed Ling Xiao's entire body. Ling Xiao's physical body couldn't move. Even his sea of consciousness between his eyebrows was sealed. It was as if his entire body was fixed. "Ah, you've searched high and low for something, only to find it by sheer luck. Boy, you didn't expect this, did you?" A cold and old voice rang out. A light flashed in the void. Instantly, a figure in a black robe appeared. His eyes were filled with cold and evil radiance as if they contained boundless darkness. Devil Saint Boyu. Chapter 1552. Demon Saint Boyu was shrouded in black demonic light. His aura caused the surrounding void to tremble violently. He was extremely evil. The twin demons of Desert North had rushed over when they saw Ling Xiao had finished his Divine King tribulation. However, when they saw Demon Saint Boyu, their expressions changed. Demon Saint Boyu was surrounded by a monstrous demonic light and an evil spirit. He was surrounded by countless vengeful souls, as if he had come from hell. The twin demons of Desert North trembled with fear. Although the twin demons of Desert North also practiced evil cultivation methods, they paled in comparison to Demon Saint Boyu. That evil and strange aura made their scalps tingle. They could not wait to turn around and run away. Who are you? Hand over Long Aotian. The black-robed man stared at Demon Saint Boyu and shouted. He felt a little relieved when he thought of the inescapable trap talisman he had set up around them. Although the aura of this guy shrouded in demonic light was extremely evil, his cultivation did not seem to be very strong. Two half-saints, he not bad food. Demon Saint Boyu stared at the twin demons of Desert North, and did not answer him directly. Instead, there was a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. He had been severely injured by the scorching sun furnace, and the purple firmament ruler in Ares College. He had no choice but to use the heavenly demon sacrifice holy technique to escape. Although he had devoured many experts of the human tribe, they were all divine path experts. He did not dare to attack experts above the half-saint level. Firstly, he was afraid that he would be killed by those half-saints. After all, Demon Saint Boyu was severely injured and his strength was very weak. Secondly, he was afraid that he would attract the attention of those saints. If that happened, he would not be able to escape. During this period, he had been cultivating in a relic with dense demonic aura. After recovering a little of his strength, he wanted to take revenge on Ling Xiao. More importantly, he wanted the treasure on Ling Xiao. The twin demons of Desert North in front of him were only low-level half-saints. Demon Saint Boyu did not take them seriously at all. Who are you? The black-robed woman's expression changed. She stared at Demon Saint Boyu and asked with a dignified look in her eyes. She could feel the malice emanating from Demon Saint Boyu. It was a feeling of seeing them as food. How could this weird guy treat two half-saints as food? Immediately, the twin demons of Mabe were both shocked and angry. Kiki, I'm afraid you don't know my name, nor do you have the qualifications to know it. You'd better obediently become my food. Demon Sage Boyu laughed sinisterly. In an instant, he was surrounded by layers of demonic shadows. Crimson blood light gushed out and enveloped the Mabe duo. Rumble. The bloody light exploded in the void and turned into chains one after another, trying to pierce through the duo of Mabe and lock them up. Husband, kill this pretentious bastard. The black-robed woman screamed. Her eyes flashed with murderous intent. She slapped out with her palm and black flames gushed out of her palm. It was cold and evil. The black-robed man also grabbed the demon-subduing pestle, and violent divine power erupted from his body. Like the golden light of Buddhism, he raised the demon-subduing pestle and smashed it at Demon Saint Boyu. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He did not expect Demon Saint Boyu to have a conflict with the twin demons of Mabe. However, Demon Saint Boyu's restrictive power was too strong. It was an evil restriction formed by Demon Saint Boyu's origin of divine path. With Ling Zhao's current strength, there was no way he could break free. Even his sea of consciousness between his eyebrows was sealed. He could not even mobilize the power of his primordial spirit. Ling Xiao had been severely injured after passing the Immortal King tribulation, and his strength had decreased greatly. He was like a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered by Demon Saint Boyu. Although you've confined my entire body, you can't confine my mind realm. Ling Xiao sneered in his heart, and his eyes flashed with a trace of cold sharpness. Demon Saint Boyu was a thorn in his side. If he was not killed, he would be a great threat. Moreover, he had the immortal cycle that Ling Xiao needed. No matter what, Demon Saint Boyu had to die. Demon Saint Boyu's aura is still floating, hovering between the Immortal King realm and the Half-Saint realm. It must be the aftereffect of the heavenly demon sacrificial technique. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Boom. At this moment, Demon Saint Boyu and the twin demons of Desert North were engaged in an intense battle. Demon Saint Boyu appeared and disappeared mysteriously. He seemed to have turned into an afterimage, and the attacks of the twin demons of Desert North could not land on him. Lowly humans, you're so weak. You can only become my food. Demon Saint Boyu sneered. In an instant, the blood-red light around him bloomed, and streaks of blood-red demonic shadows pounced on the twin demons of Desert North. The sky was filled with blood-red chains and demonic shadows. The twin demons of Desert North could not help but turn pale as they felt a great threat. Damn it! I'll let you have a taste of the power of my inescapable snare formation talisman. Open! The black-robed man's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He roared, and the surrounding void began to shake. Swoosh! 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 Streaks of black lines intertwined with each other, and emerged from the sky and the earth. They contained terrifying energy fluctuations and intertwined to form a huge black net, enveloping Demon Saint Boyu. This was the inescapable net formation talisman, which contained powerful Saint Path energy. As long as one was in this world, one would be bound by the inescapable net. Saint Path formation talisman. Demon Saint Boyu's eyes flashed with blood-red light, and he became slightly solemn. Although he was still in the form of a primordial spirit, and could travel through the void and move the world, his cultivation had been greatly reduced. He was extremely wary of such a complete Saint Path formation talisman. Rumble! The blood-red demonic shadows that filled the sky were instantly enveloped by the huge black net, and it fell on Demon Saint Boyu's head. Bo Mu Saint, break! Demon Saint Boyu's eyes became incomparably deep. He muttered a series of ancient and cryptic syllables, causing the surrounding space to tremble. Swoosh! A dazzling demonic light burst out. The twin demons of Desert North saw Demon Saint Boyu being imprisoned by the inescapable net, and then he was flying toward the black-robed man. In the inescapable net, a black figure was struggling and roaring. Demonic chi filled the sky. It was Demon Saint Boyu. My husband, is this guy a remnant of the demon clan? Such terrifying demonic chi. Even the people of the demonic path can't reach this level. Chapter 1553. Very likely, if we catch him, we'll be able to vanquish the demon. The black-robed man sneered. Vanquish the demon? You got the answer right, but you didn't expect the ending. Just then, a sinister voice rang in the ears of the devils of Mabe. It was filled with endless evil and mockery. What? The devils of Mabe trembled, and their eyes were filled with terror. Without hesitation, they fled into the distance. Boom! A dazzling blood-red light exploded, and Demon Saint Boyu appeared out of thin air and pounced on the black-robed woman. Suddenly, the blood-red light filled the air, and the black-robed woman's blood spurted out. Soon she was sucked dry. Even her primordial spirit had been swallowed by Demon Saint Boyu. The primordial spirit and flesh of the human clan are so delicious. Demon Saint Boyu revealed an intoxicated look. How is this possible? Haven't you been caught by the heavenly network? How could you possibly escape from the inescapable net? The black-robed man's eyes were filled with terror. There was indeed a black demonic shadow in the heavenly network in his hand, and it looked exactly like Demon Saint Boyu. Then, how did Demon Saint Boyu appear in front of him? Your Holy Tao talisman is really good. It cost me my Holy Tao origin to create a substitute. Then I managed to escape with great difficulty. In return, I'll eat you. Demon Saint Boyu sneered. Without any hesitation, he pounced on the black-robed man again. Although the black-robed man tried his best to escape, he was not as fast as Demon Saint Boyu. In the end, despair flashed in his eyes, and he roared at Demon Saint Boyu. Since you want to kill me, let's die together. Boom. The black-robed man was very decisive. Black holy light surged around his body, and a terrifying and destructive power gushed out. His entire body exploded with a loud bang. Lunatic! Demon Saint Boyu roared in exasperation. Although he had been prepared and dodged the moment the black-robed man chose to self-detonate. How terrifying was the self-detonation of a half-saint. Even Demon Saint Boyu was affected in an instant. Terrifying holy light surged and tore the void apart. The vast holy light hit Demon Saint Boyu, and half of his body turned into nothingness. Demon Saint Boyu's means were strange. Although the black-robed man was no match for him, Demon Saint Boyu could not stop the self-explosion of a half-saint. Demon Saint Boyu had successfully devoured the woman's flesh and primordial spirit, so he was careless and did not expect the black-robed man's self-explosion. This caused him to suffer a great loss. Not only did he fail to devour any flesh, blood, or primordial spirit, He was even heavily injured. The injuries that Demon Saint Boyu had painstakingly recovered from were now showing signs of worsening. How unlucky of him to have lived 8 lifetimes. It was too miserable. Demon Sage Boyu wanted to cry, but he had no tears. However, he still comforted himself. Anyway, there is still that human boy called Long Out Yen. That guy has a big secret, and his flesh and primordial spirit are extremely strong. As long as I devour him, I might be able to recover completely. But when Demon Saint Boyu turned his head, he was dumbfounded. Ling Xiao was gone. Damn it. Where did that bastard go? He couldn't have escaped from my senses. Where did he go? Demon Saint Boyu was about to go crazy, and his eyes were full of anger. The cooked duck had flown away just like that. Moreover, it had flown away in a baffling manner. Even he himself had not noticed when Ling Xiao had disappeared. Maybe, at the moment of the black-robed man's self-explosion, Ling Xiao had used some unknown means to disappear into thin air. Ignoring Demon Saint Boyu's madness, Ling Xiao had already entered the Great Void Temple. Indeed, at the moment of the black-robed man's self-explosion, Ling Xiao had connected with the Heart Realm and entered the Great Void Temple. With the terrifying shockwave of the black-robed man's self-explosion, the void became chaotic. Demon Saint Boyu was also severely injured. Naturally, he did not feel the shockwave of Ling Xiao's heart realm. Ling Xiao was also very cautious. He tried his best to eliminate the traces of the Great Void Temple being exposed. Devil Sage Boyu is probably going for wool and coming home shorn this time. Cough cough. Ba ba ba, I'm not a chicken. That bastard dared to sneak up on me. Let's see how I'll deal with him after I recover. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Young master, how did you suffer such serious injuries? Uncle Su appeared. When he saw Ling Xiao's current state, a look of shock flashed across his eyes. Don't mention it. Uncle Su, I'm really unlucky this time. Ling Xiao chuckled bitterly and recounted his experience. Although Demon Saint Boyu's seal was very strong, under the devouring of the heaven-devouring secret skill, it began to loosen gradually. Young master, although I can heal you, I think it's also an opportunity for you. If you continue to exhaust your Dao injuries, you will be able to comprehend the true meaning of the great Dao. It'll be beneficial for you to become a divine sage in the future. Uncle Su said slowly. Uncle Su, I can heal myself. I'll come and talk to you after I recover. Ling Xiao said with a smile. He knew what Uncle Su meant. The most serious injuries on his body were the Dao injuries from the Divine King Tribulation. They contained the imprint of the great Dao. As for Demon Saint Boyu's seal, although it was strong, it would not last long under the devouring of the heaven-devouring secret skill. Ling Xiao entered the flowing time temple and used the saint liquid to accelerate the flow of time by 30 times to heal his injuries. The seal left behind by Demon Saint Boyu was very strong. Ling Xiao spent almost a month to completely refine it. These Dao injuries are a crisis, but they're also an opportunity. Perhaps I can take this opportunity to undergo nirvana again. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and a perfectly round elixir appeared in his hand. It looked crystal clear and gave off a strong medicinal fragrance. Zhou Tian Nirvana Elixir. This was the supreme elixir of the 9 imperial gates. It could allow an expert of the divine path realm to experience the nirvana of a half-saint. It had a miraculous effect on the physical body, divine power rules, and primordial spirit. Ling Xiao was ready to swallow the Zhou Tian Nirvana elixir and undergo nirvana. At the same time, he would refine all his Dao injuries and recover his peak cultivation. Ling Xiao swallowed the Zhou Tian Nirvana elixir in one gulp. Boom. Chapter 1554. Ling Xiao's aura began to rise. Resplendent divine light gushed out from his body. His aura became incomparably mysterious. Ling Xiao could faintly sense that he had arrived at the beginning of the primordial age, before the creation of the world, in the endless chaos. His body became translucent, turning into a dazzling light. The divine power and laws in his body also began to dissipate, as if they were returning to heaven and earth. In the end, even his godhood and nascent spirit began to shatter. Rumble. Wind and thunder crackled around Ling Xiao, and the majestic force exploded. His entire body turned into a blazing light, turning into the tiniest particles that floated in the void. A mysterious chaotic energy seemed to overflow from the endless void, and then it began to merge into his body. Every particle around him began to absorb the chaotic energy, and then exploded. It was as if a world was being opened up in the chaos. Heaven and earth shook. Boundless divine light gushed out, and each particle seemed to form a mysterious world. Chaotic energy interweaved between them, forming an endless world. Ling Xiao felt very strange. His consciousness seemed to travel through the endless worlds in an instant. He saw the birth and death of every world, and the reproduction of countless creatures. There was a mysterious Tao sound in his ears. It was like the resonance of heaven and earth, but also like the chanting of the ancient people. It was as if he had been brought back to the beginning of the primordial age. Rumble. Bolts of lightning intertwined as golden light illuminated the surroundings. In this empty space, Ling Xiao's body began to undergo an extremely miraculous transformation. After an unknown period of time, a mysterious Tao sound exploded between the heavens and the earth. Endless light instantly gathered and reformed into a perfect physical body. Ling Xiao seemed to have reappeared from nothingness. His body glowed, and his flesh was flawless. His black hair began to grow rapidly, and soon it reached his waist. It was sparkling and translucent. His face was incomparably handsome, and his eyes were incomparably bright. His entire being exuded a transcendent aura. The efficacy of Zhou Tian's nirvana pellet was completely consumed. Ling Xiao's Dao injury was completely healed. His cultivation base had reached the peak of the early Divine King realm, and he was about to break through to the mid-Divine King realm. This Zhou Tian nirvana pill is indeed miraculous. If it wasn't for this Zhou Tian nirvana pill, I'm afraid it would take at least a few years for my Dao injuries to heal completely. Ling Xiao muttered to himself. The Zhou Tian nirvana pill allowed him to experience the feeling of nirvana. It was as if his entire body had merged with the heavens and earth, becoming one with the great Tao. He could roam the myriad of worlds and see the beginning, the end, and the end. This was an extremely precious feeling. The reason why Zhou Tian's nirvana elixir had such a strong effect was also related to Ling Xiao's Dao injury. The Dao injury was a mark of the great Tao, which made it easier for Ling Xiao to comprehend that kind of power. Rumble. Ling Xiao stood up from the flowing time temple, his body exuding majestic energy fluctuations, and an extremely powerful feeling welled up in his heart. Even Ling Xiao himself didn't know how strong his physical body had become. Originally, Ling Xiao thought that his physical body had reached its limit. However, ever since he began to refine his body with the chaotic energy, he realized that there was no limit to the improvement of his physical body. This also explained why it was so difficult to become a saint with a physical body. I've been cultivating in the flowing time temple for 2 months, but only 1 or 2 days have passed in the outside world. I wonder if Demon Saint Bo Yu is still here. If he's still here, I'll give him a surprise. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he left the flowing time temple. Young master, you've come out of seclusion? Uncle Su's eyes revealed a trace of surprise when he saw Ling Xiao. He also noticed that the chaotic energy surging around Ling Xiao's body was constantly nourishing Ling Xiao's physical body, making it stronger and stronger. It's all thanks to Uncle Su's guidance that I was able to recover from my injuries. Uncle Su, do you have a way to deal with Demon Saint Bo Yu? Ling Xiao smiled as he looked at Uncle Su. Young master, you've already cultivated the Great Void Charm scripture to the 5th level? This kind of speed was truly unprecedented in both ancient and modern times. It won't be difficult to deal with Demon Saint Bo Yu. Uncle Su looked at Ling Xiao and exclaimed. It seemed that Ling Xiao was really the successor of the Great Void Emperor. It had only been a few years since he obtained the Great Void Charm scripture, but he had already cultivated it to such a level? Please enlighten me, Uncle Su. Ling Xiao said with a smile. The key lies in the Great Void Temple. I know that you don't want to reveal the secret of the Great Void Temple, but since you've cultivated the Great Void Charm scripture to the 5th level, you can open 5 temples. Currently, you've only opened the Flowing Time Temple. I have 2 types of talismans here. If you can refine these 2 talismans, it won't be difficult for you to get rid of Demon Saint Bo Yu. Uncle Su smiled faintly. Buzz. 2 golden sheets of paper floated towards Ling Xiao in his palm. Ling Xiao received them and took a closer look. He couldn't help but be surprised. Heart Realm Talisman and Heart-Killing Talisman. The Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart-Killing Talisman were not ordinary talismans. They were top-grade talismans that required the power of the heart to be inscribed. The Heart Realm Talisman could temporarily form a Heart Realm prison to imprison demon Saint Boyu. The Heart-Killing Talisman could kill the mind without leaving a trace. Although these 2 talismans were just talismans, they were extremely powerful. They might not be able to deal with a real sage, but they could deal with demon Saint Boyu, who was only left with his primordial spirit, and was severely injured. That's right. Demon Saint Boyu is only a primordial spirit. If it was before, you wouldn't have been able to refine these 2 talismans. However, now that you've cultivated the Great Void Charm Scripture to the 5th level, your power of the heart is unparalleled. It's enough for you to use your power of the heart to refine talismans. As long as you open the Talisman Hall, not only will you be able to reduce your dependence on heaven and earth treasures, but you'll also be able to refine talismans at will. Uncle Su said. Open the Talisman Hall? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. The Flowing Time Temple could accelerate time. The other temples must have their own uses as well. Alright, I'll open the Talisman Hall first. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He immediately made up his mind. He began to operate the Great Void Charm Scripture, and used his power of the heart to communicate with the temples in front of him. Rumble. A ray of dazzling light bloomed. The Talisman Hall exuded an ancient and majestic aura. The ancient door opened. Ling Xiao entered the Talisman Hall. It was an extremely ancient palace. There were mysterious lines floating in the void around it, as if they contained some kind of vast truth of heaven and earth. Ling Xiao felt that he could easily communicate with those mysterious lines through his power of the heart. Is this the power of talismans and arrays? Chapter 1555. Ling Xiao stayed in the Talisman Hall for a month and failed thousands of times before he finally refined the Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman. The Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman are too difficult to refine. If I were to fumble around in the outside world, I'm afraid it would take me a few years. Ling Xiao sighed with a hint of exhaustion on his face. When refining talismans in the Talisman Hall, the power of heart could communicate with the mysterious Great Tao imprint in the Talisman Hall. However, the Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman were too mysterious. Not only did they involve the use of the Great Tao of heaven and earth, but they also involved the comprehension of the Heart Realm. In the process of refining the Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman, Ling Xiao's comprehension of the power of heart became more profound. With the comprehension of the power of heart, Ling Xiao gradually understood the power of the Great Void Talisman Scripture. It turned out that he had only scratched the surface of it. The Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman were refined by Ling Xiao using the 10,000 years celestial jade. They looked palm-sized and had many strange patterns on them. One look at them would cause one's mind to waver. It was easy to activate these 2 talismans. All he needed to do was to activate them with the power of heart. Uncle Su, what do you think of the Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman that I refined? After Ling Xiao left the Talisman Hall, he immediately showed the Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman to Uncle Su. That's right. It's indeed the Heart Realm Talisman and the Heart Killer Talisman. With these 2 talismans, it won't be a problem to deal with Demon Saint Boyu. Uncle Su smiled faintly. All right. Uncle Su, I'll take my leave first. Ling Xiao said with a smile, a look of anticipation in his eyes. Although he had been in the Great Void Temple for a month, Ling Xiao had a premonition that he would meet Demon Saint Boyu again. Not only did he want to obtain the time scripture from Demon Saint Boyu, but Demon Saint Boyu also wanted the time compass and time compass on him. Whoosh! Ling Xiao's body shone brightly. He instantly connected with the Heart Realm and turned into a gorgeous light. He passed through layers of time and space and returned to the mountain range where he was before. The mountain range within a radius of 10,000 miles had turned into a huge swamp. Dozens of mountains had turned into fine powder and completely disappeared. The ground had sunk and seawater was pouring in. The undulations of Ling Xiao transcending the divine king tribulation back then were too powerful, practically causing this place to sink down. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He looked around carefully, but did not sense Demon Saint Bo Yu's aura. He was ready to fly in the direction of Yuanlong City. Brat, I knew you didn't escape. You still appeared in the end. How did you dispel the heavenly devil restriction I left behind? Suddenly, a sinister voice rang out in the void. Black devil chi surged and Devil Saint Bo Yu appeared in front of Ling Xiao, shrouded in devil light. A sliver of surprise appeared in his eyes. After all, the demonic seal he had left behind was extremely powerful. Regular half-saints would not be able to get through it. Long Outyin was only a god king, so how did he get through it so quickly? Devil Sage Bo Yu, you haven't left yet? Are you staying here to die? Ling Xiao said indifferently, his eyes calm. Although Devil Saint Bo Yu's aura was extremely terrifying, Ling Xiao was still sensitive enough to sense that Devil Saint Bo Yu's injuries were very serious. It was probably the aftermath of the self-destruction of the Twin Devils of Desert North. The Twin Devils of Desert North were also miserable. They wanted to kill Ling Xiao, but unfortunately, they were killed by Devil Saint Bo Yu. Brat, don't bluff. I'd like to see how you can escape from me today. Devil Saint Bo Yu sneered, his eyes filled with a trace of crazy killing intent. Whoosh! Devil light surged around him, causing the heaven and earth to tremble violently. Rays of bloody light burst out from his body, instantly turning into bloody shadows that pounced on Ling Xiao. Boom! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp light, and he punched out. The dazzling fist print exploded in the void, containing a vast and unparalleled divine power, as if it could destroy everything. Before the bloody shadows could even get close to Ling Xiao, they all exploded one by one. Devil Saint Bo Yu, do you think you can kill me with this little strength of yours? Ling Xiao sneered. The bloody aura around him was so majestic that it even turned into divine dragons of bloody aura that coiled around him, making him look majestic and mysterious. Devil Saint Bo Yu's eyes became even more fervent. He licked his lips and said, "What a strong physical body. If I can devour all of you, my injuries will be completely healed. Brat, get over here obediently." Demon Saint Bo Yu roared as the blood-red light around him blazed even brighter. In the end, he turned into a blood-red shadow and pounced toward Ling Xiao. Rumble! A vast sea of blood permeated the air. The heaven and earth were burned into the color of blood. The blood was boiling in the sea of blood. It was as if there were mysterious ancient corpses rushing towards the sky. The murderous aura was monstrous, causing people's minds to tremble. However, Ling Xiao's expression was very calm, and there was a faint trace of mockery in his eyes. When Devil Saint Bo Yu was about to pounce on Ling Xiao's body suddenly exuded an extremely mysterious aura. A vast world seemed to emerge from the void, and it instantly pressed down on Devil Saint Bo Yu's head. Divine chains of order tore through the void, containing extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. They instantly descended from the sky, entangling Demon Sage Bo Yu and pulling him into the vast world. The Heart Realm Talisman had exploded. Ling Xiao used the power of his heart to communicate with the heaven and earth, forming a vast heart realm that suppressed Devil Saint Bo Yu. This was the power of the heart realm, so Devil Saint Bo Yu was completely defenseless. What is this place? Devil Saint Bo Yu's eyes revealed a trace of shock. He trembled violently in the heart realm, and terrifying holy light spread out around him, as if he was about to shatter this world and escape from it. Devil Saint Bo Yu, this is the Heart Realm Talisman I prepared for you. You'd better enjoy it. Heart-killing talisman, go. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and his eyes were full of sharpness. At the same time, he activated the heart-killing talisman. Suddenly, a black divine rainbow appeared, and it turned into streaks of black sword light, piercing towards Devil Saint Bo Yu in the heart realm. This is the power of the heart. You're on the path of a heart saint? How is this possible? Chapter 1556. When the heart-killing talisman burst out, Demon Saint Boyu finally understood that the heart-killing talisman was the power of the heart. He could not resist it at all, because the power of the heart was invisible and intangible. It targeted his heart, and contained an incomparably mysterious power. The black sword light entered Devil Saint Boyu's body in an instant. The demonic light around him exploded, and his aura tumbled. His face revealed an expression of incomparable pain and struggle. The heart-killing talisman was attacking his heart. It wanted to crush all his will to resist, completely shatter his mind, and even control his heart. Ah! Demon Saint Boyu roared to the sky, and the demonic light around him boiled violently. There was even an incomparably vast power of the holy way that burst out, trying to break through the shackles of the mind realm. Slash! Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, and the mysterious Kuan sword bloomed instantly. Divine light filled the air, turning into a river of sword qi, splitting the heaven and earth, and cutting Demon Saint Boyu in half. Ling Zhao wanted to capture Demon Saint Boyu and force him to hand over the inheritance of the Age of Time. How could he allow him to escape like this? The mysterious Kuan sword was a flawless holy treasure that contained peerless sharpness. Being controlled by the mind realm, Demon Saint Boyu had no way to resist the attack of the mysterious Kuan sword. At the same time, the power of the heart-killing talisman poured into Demon Saint Boyu's body. The vast power of the heart directly destroyed Demon Saint Boyu's will. In the end, the cruelty, anger, and killing intent in his eyes seemed to slowly dissipate, leaving only fear, a fear that came from the bottom of his heart. Where is the Age of Time? At this moment, Ling Zhao seemed to have transformed into the master of the mind realm. His voice was like brilliant thunder, exploding in Demon Saint Boyu's ears. There was a hint of struggle in Demon Saint Boyu's eyes, but he still answered honestly. Lu Wu obtained the inheritance of the Age of Time and the Compass of Time. The Compass of Time has been snatched by you. And I obtained the inheritance of the Age of Time when I devoured Lu Wu's memory. Ling Zhao understood. Although he had already guessed it, now that Demon Saint Boyu had admitted it himself, his guess was confirmed. Demon Saint Boyu had obtained the inheritance of the Book of Ages. As long as Ling Zhao devoured Demon Saint Boyu's primordial spirit, he would naturally be able to obtain the inheritance of the Book of Ages. At the same time, Ling Zhao rejoiced in his heart. Fortunately, the battle between him and Demon Saint Boyu had not reached a stalemate. Instead, he had acted decisively. He had imprisoned Demon Saint Boyu with the Heart Realm Talisman, and destroyed his will with the Heart-Killing Talisman. Otherwise, if Demon Saint Boyu had used the power of time, it would be hard to tell who would emerge victorious. Swallow. Killing intent flashed in Ling Zhao's eyes. Instantly, his glabella glowed and the power of the heaven-devouring secret skill burst out. The two halves of the primordial spirit of Devil Saint Boyu turned into a streamer and shot into Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness. Rumble. After entering Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness, the fear in Demon Saint Boyu's eyes dissipated. Instead, a cold killing intent began to spread out. Ah. Long Outyin, you've been tricked. You're just a divine king. How dare you try to devour and refine my primordial spirit? You're courting death. I'll gladly accept your body. Demon Saint Boyu laughed out loud, his eyes filled with pride. Previously, he could feel the power of the heart-punishing talisman. It wanted to completely destroy his will, so he beat Ling Zhao at his own game. He said that he would refine Lu Wu's Yuan spirit, and obtain the inheritance of the Sutra of Time in order to draw out Ling Zhao's greed, and then devour his Yuan spirit. This was also Demon Saint Boyu's plan to survive. Otherwise, if Ling Zhao did not have the power of time, he would have been killed by the Heart Realm Talisman directly with the Xian Kuan sword. As expected, Ling Zhao had chosen to devour his primordial spirit. This was exactly what he wanted. Is that so? Ling Zhao smiled faintly. His expression was calm, and he was not surprised at all. To Ling Zhao, it did not matter whether Demon Saint Boyu's will had been destroyed or if he was plotting something. As long as Demon Saint Boyu entered his sea of consciousness, Demon Saint Boyu would no longer be able to make the decision. Playing tricks, but no one can save you today. Demon Saint Boyu suddenly had a bad premonition. However, he still sneered and pounced on Ling Zhao's primordial spirit. Boom. At this moment, A vast and ancient light erupted from Ling Zhao's primordial spirit. A mysterious scroll of the heavenly book floated above Ling Zhao's primordial spirit, blooming with boundless light. This is the wordless heavenly book? Demon Saint Boyu trembled. The moment he saw the wordless heavenly book, he seemed to have thought of something. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Yes, it is the wordless heavenly book. Unfortunately, you know it too late. Ling Zhao smiled faintly. The wordless heavenly book instantly emitted a terrifying aura. A vast devouring power erupted and directly sucked Demon Saint Boyu's primordial spirit into the wordless heavenly book. Demon Saint Boyu could not resist at all. It's the wordless heavenly book. You're the successor of the wordless heavenly book? I've long felt that you have a big secret. So it's the wordless heavenly book? Ah, I didn't die in vain. Demon Saint Boyu roared. His eyes were filled with unwillingness. That was the wordless heavenly book. The wordless heavenly book that the entire divine world and countless experts in the universe would go crazy for. However, it was in the hands of a mere divine king. If this news were to spread out, the entire universe would be shaken. Unfortunately, the moment Demon Saint Boyu saw the wordless heavenly book was also the moment he died. Rumble. Demon Saint Boyu was directly devoured by the wordless heavenly book. The vast power of the primordial spirit had turned into nourishment for the wordless heavenly book, but in the end, there was still a trace of extremely pure power of the primordial spirit that merged with Ling Zhao's primordial spirit, making it even more powerful. Furthermore, as the resplendent light fused into Ling Zhao's soul, a sliver of understanding appeared in his heart. Is this the second scroll of the year-old menstruation? Ling Zhao was slightly excited. The two scrolls of the year-old menstruation had merged into one in his primordial spirit, flowing with an extremely mysterious aura. The time scripture in Demon Saint Boyu's primordial spirit came from the same source as the time scripture that Ling Zhao had obtained. However, the mysteries it contained were completely different. The time scripture that Ling Zhao had obtained contained the power to stop time. However, the time scripture in Demon Saint Boyu's primordial spirit contained the power to accelerate time. These were all mysteries of the laws of time. I wonder how many scrolls of the time scripture there are. The inheritance of the flowing time emperor is indeed very tempting. Ling Zhao thought to himself. Suddenly he thought of Shirbufan. Shirbufan had wanted to obtain the time compass from Ling Zhao for the inheritance of the flowing time emperor. Chapter 1557. Demon World, Heavenly Fiend Clan's Forbidden Grounds, Reincarnation Pool. Black lotuses floated above the reincarnation pool, emitting strange waves. The water of the reincarnation pool rippled with a faint light, but there were countless corpses floating in it. Be it humans or demons, the power of the corpses was being absorbed by the black lotuses. At that moment, a black lotus suddenly blossomed with light, and a mysterious figure emerged from it. In the beginning, it was incomparably illusory. Then, as rays of light converged, it gradually solidified into the appearance of Demon Saint Boyu. It seems like my original body has fallen in the hands of Long Outyin. That Long Outyin has a huge secret. Demon Sage Boyu frowned slightly, and his eyes revealed a faint light and cold murderous intent. After his original body entered Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness, he lost all his senses and did not know what had happened. However, from the resurrection of the avatar he left in the Black Lotus, it was clear that his original body was indeed dead. There are countless secrets in the realm of the gods. Long Outyin, your life is mine. Demon Sage Boyu's eyes flashed with murderous intent, and in an instant he turned into a ray of light and shot out of the reincarnation pool. Ling Zhao had obtained the second volume of the Book of Ages. Strictly speaking, only the second volume was considered complete. This was because the Book of Ages he obtained from the Scarlet Dragon War God did not have a corresponding chronocompass. Ling Zhao realized that only by combining the Book of Ages and the chronocompass could he quickly understand the true meaning of time. Ling Zhao combined the second volume of the Book of Ages with the chronocompass, and his understanding of the true meaning of time improved by leaps and bounds. After killing Demon Sage Boyu, he began his journey back to Ares College. Ling Zhao first flew to Yuanlong City, And then through the void teleportation circle, he finally returned to Ares College. Junior brother Long, you're back? Haha. That's great. I'll go tell the dean and the rest. You don't know how anxious they are. Just as Ling Xiao entered Ares College, he met Feng Sheng, who was in a hurry. When Feng Sheng saw Ling Xiao, he was extremely surprised, and immediately pulled Ling Xiao into the depths of Ares College. Senior brother Feng Sheng, what's going on? Ling Xiao guessed that it had been more than a month since he had lured the Mabe twin demons away. Tong Yuan and the others were probably going crazy from anxiety. Junior brother Long, you don't know, but the principal, Elder Han Li, and the others are looking for you everywhere. I heard that you led the enemy away for the principal and the others, right? Junior brother Long really makes me admire you. Feng Sheng looked around and whispered with a serious look in his eyes. I'm fine, it's just that something unexpected happened. Have the people from the War God Temple arrived? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he smiled faintly. After the astral tournament ended, some of the Ares Academy's disciples would be promoted to the inner sect and enter the War God Shrine, becoming a true disciple of the War God Shrine. According to Ling Zhao's guess, the people from the War God Shrine should have already arrived. We're here. A guide elder from the War God Temple has personally come here. However, he has already been waiting for more than a month. Junior brother Long, when you see the guide elder, you must be careful with your words and actions. Feng Sheng's eyes revealed a hint of seriousness as he spoke slowly. Careful with my words and actions? What's going on? Ling Xiao frowned slightly. Seeing that Feng Sheng seemed to have something to say, Ling Xiao was afraid that something was wrong. Junior brother Long, this guide elder is from the Thunder Hall, so he's somewhat dissatisfied with you for making him wait for an extra month. Feng Sheng said with some hesitation. Someone from the Thunder Hall? No wonder. Ling Xiao sneered as he suddenly thought of Lei Qianjue. Since this guide elder was from the Thunder Hall, he wouldn't believe that he didn't have any ill intentions towards him. The two of them quickly arrived at the depths of Ares Academy. Long Outyin, you're finally back. When Tong Yuan, Elder Han Li, Tiangang, Xian Wang, and the others heard the news of Ling Zhao's return, they were all pleasantly surprised and hurriedly came out to welcome him. Over the past month, they had been waiting anxiously. If it weren't for the fact that they still had some confidence in Ling Xiao, they would have thought that he was already dead. Dean, Elder Han, I was just lucky to escape. However, something unexpected happened, so I came back a little late. Ling Xiao said with a smile. You're the champion of this year's academy tournament, Long Outyan? At that moment, a cold voice sounded, exuding an incomparably arrogant fluctuation. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he looked up, and saw an old man with white hair and a beard standing beside Tong Yuan. The old man's face was ruddy, and his eyes were dignified. His body exuded a faint power of thunder, indicating that he was a half-saint powerhouse with an unfathomable cultivation. Beside the old man was a young man in a white robe. He had an extraordinary bearing, and he was looking down at Ling Xiao with a hint of jealousy in his eyes. He was already a late-stage heavenly god, and his aura was powerful. His body exuded an air of arrogance. I'm Long Outyan. Who are you? Ling Xiao replied indifferently, his gaze calm. He had already guessed that the old man with white hair and beard was the guide elder of the War God Shrine, and that young man should be a disciple of the War God Shrine as well. Tong Yuan quickly said, Long Outyan, let me introduce you. This is the guide elder of the War God Shrine, Elder Duan Qin. This is the inner disciple of the War God Shrine, Lei Muwen. After saying that, Tong Yuan hurriedly transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao. Long Outyan, try not to get into a conflict with them. Elder Duan is from the Thunder Hall, and Lei Muwen is Lei Qianjue's nephew. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He did not expect that the people who came to guide the disciples to the War God Shrine were all from the Thunder Hall. Didn't senior brother Chong He and senior brother Void Pierce already go to the War God Shrine? Could it be that there was an accident? Ling Xiao thought to himself. Then he heard an ear-piercing voice. Long Outyan, you actually made Elder Duan wait for you here for a month. Do you know your crime? Where have you been for the past month? Lei Muwen stared at Ling Xiao and said coldly. His tone was not polite at all, as if he was interrogating a criminal. Tong Yuan, Han Li and the others frowned, while Tian Gang and the others showed a hint of anger in their eyes. This Lei Muwen was really going too far. I didn't know that Elder Duan would come to the War God College at this time. I'm really sorry to have made Elder Duan wait for so long. However, where have I been for the past month? I'm sure the dean has already told you. Are you asking the obvious? Chapter 1558. Principal Tong only said that you lured the pursuers away for them. But who are they? Where are they? What's the result? Who can prove it? Even Principal Tong and the others can't deal with them. What makes you think you can? Hurry up and explain everything to me. Lei Muwen sneered. Ling Zhao's eyes turned cold. He could tell that Lei Muwen was here to cause trouble, but he still said calmly, "The pursuers this time are the twin demons of Mo Bay. That time, I left the principal and the others and lured the twin demons of Mo Bay away." Ling Xiao roughly recounted his experience, but he only said that he was chased by the twin demons of Mo Bay and was severely injured. He used a teleportation array to escape and recuperated for a month before returning. Ling Xiao naturally didn't mention the matter of Boyo Archdevil. Although what he said was nonsense, no one could find any flaws in it. After all the people involved were dead. However, when they heard that the pursuers were the twin demons of Mo Bay, everyone's expression changed. The twin demons of Mo Bay were notorious. Although they only operated in the Supreme Emperor Celestial region, Tong Yuan and the others had heard of them. They didn't expect Ling Xiao to be able to escape from them. The twin demons of Mo Bay? You think you can escape from the twin demons of Mo Bay? No matter how weak the twin demons of Mo Bay are, they are still half-saints. You are just a divine king. How can you escape? I think the twin demons of Mo Bay deliberately let you go. Are you a spy from another sect? Lei Muwen sneered. Tong Yuan's expression changed. He said coldly, "Young Master Lei, please watch your words. Long Outyin risked his life to save us and lured the enemy away. We believe in him." Han Li also said coldly, "Lei Muwen, this is Ares College. You are just an inner disciple. How dare you question Long Outyin? Once he enters Ares' temple, he will immediately become a true disciple. When that time comes, you will have to call him senior. Don't act all high and mighty." Han Li's temper was very fiery. This Lei Muwen was a playboy. He relied on his uncle Lei Qianjue to do whatever he wanted in the War God Temple. He didn't even put many of the true disciples in his eyes. Although Heavenly Dipper and the others didn't say anything, they were still glaring at Lei Muwen. Ling Xiao could be said to be the savior of all of them. He was the twin demons of Mabe, a half-saint expert. If Ling Xiao hadn't lured the enemy away, they might have been in danger of being completely annihilated. Therefore, they would never allow Lei Muwen to frame Ling Xiao like this. Moreover, they also knew what Lei Muwen was thinking. It was because Ling Xiao had become the champion of the Academy tournament and was about to enter the War God Temple and become a true disciple that Lei Muwen was jealous of, which was why he had made things difficult for Ling Xiao. Maybe Lei Qianjue had something to do with it as well. Ling Xiao smiled, but his smile was a little cold. He stared at Lei Muwen and said, "Who do you think you are to question me? What does it have to do with you whether or not I can escape from the hands of a half-saint? The reception elder hasn't even said anything yet, and you're already being noisy here. Don't you have any respect for seniority? You uncultured thing. Why aren't you backing down?" Even Demon Saint Boyo had died at Ling Zhao's hands. How dare a mere late-stage divine king speak like this? If they weren't in Ares College, Ling Xiao would have killed him with a single slap. Lei Muwen's gaze turned cold, and his expression became extremely ugly. He had never thought that Ling Xiao would have such a strong reputation in Ares College, which put him in an awkward position. "Long Outyin, how dare you speak rudely to me? I'm just voicing my suspicions. I think you're guilty, aren't you? Reception elder, I think we should investigate Ling Zhao's identity. If there's a spy in the War God Temple, we'll suffer a great loss." Lei Muwen's eyes flashed with a cold killing intent as he spoke slowly. The reception elder, who had been acting as if this matter had nothing to do with him, knew that he couldn't continue watching the show. He coughed lightly and said, Everyone stop arguing. Long Outyin has become the champion of the Academy tournament, which is worthy of celebration. However, Marshal Nephew Lei's words aren't without reason. This matter ends here. Let's discuss the promotion of Ares College's disciples to the inner sect. The reception elder, Duan Qin, acted as if he didn't want to offend either side. He was all smiles. Duan Qin was giving Lei Muwen a way out. Lei Muwen glanced coldly at Ling Xiao and didn't say anything else. Ling Xiao also smiled faintly. He didn't care about a clown like Lei Muwen. What he cared more about was the situation in the War God Temple. Hearing Duan Qin's words, Tong Yuan hurriedly said, "Elder Duan is right. We should discuss the matter of being promoted to the inner sect. I wonder how many spots the sect has given to our Ares College this time?" Duan Qin's eyes flashed as he smiled and said, "Dean Tong, the sect has given Ares College 10 spots this time." 10 spots for inner sect disciples? Tong Yuan nodded. It was similar to what he had expected. It was very difficult to enter the War God Temple. An Ares College usually only received 10 spots or less. After Long Outyin enters the sect, he should be promoted to a true disciple, right? Han Li also asked. This? Duan Qin hesitated. Tong Yuan's expression changed slightly as he hurriedly asked, "Elder Duan, could there be an accident?" According to tradition, the champion of the Academy tournament should be promoted to a true disciple. However, you should know that the number of true disciples in the 9 branches of the War God Temple is fixed. There aren't any vacancies right now, so Long Outyin can only be promoted to an inner sect disciple first. When there are vacancies, he will immediately be promoted to a true disciple. Duan Qin said slowly. Each of the 9 branches of the War God Temple had a fixed number of true disciples. Unless there were vacancies, it would be very difficult to promote a new true disciple. Although a half-saint was the threshold to be promoted to a true disciple, it didn't mean that one could be promoted to a true disciple just by reaching the half-saint realm. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he said, "Elder Duan, the number of true disciples in each of the 9 branches of the War God Temple is fixed. This is an ironclad rule left behind by the founder. However, what I want to ask is, does War God Temple have enough true disciples?" Tong Yuan also slowly said, "Long Outyin is right. Elder Duan, War God Temple has been in decline for a long time. Everyone knows that the 9 true disciple spots that belong to War God Temple are still vacant, right?" Chapter 1559. Someone took it? Does that mean that someone from the other halls has taken up the spot? Ling Zhao's voice was cold. Ling Xiao was not a disciple of Battle Hall, but he had taken up one of the positions of Battle Hall's true inheritors. Even if Ling Xiao used his feet to think, he knew why. Firstly, it was because of Battle Hall's supreme treasure, the sky-flipping seal. Secondly, he felt that Battle Hall was weak and easy to bully. That was why he had taken up one of their positions. Currently, the Battle Hall only had a few big cats and small cats. They had no say in the sect. Even if they objected, it would be useless. Ling Xiao understood the whole story and his gaze became even colder. Duan Qin didn't like Ling Zhao's attitude, but he still said indifferently, "The position of Battle Hall's true disciple has been taken. This is something that the Battle God and all the Grand Elders have agreed to. Now that the position of Battle Hall Master is vacant, the matters of Battle Hall are decided by the sect. However, one of the 9 Battle Hall's true disciples is about to be promoted to an elder. If you are willing to join the Battle Hall, you can be promoted to a true disciple. Brat, if you want to become a true disciple, you can only enter that abandoned land." Lei Muwen sneered as he took pleasure in Ling Zhao's misfortune. Everyone in the War God Temple knew that the Battle Hall was now an abandoned land. No one was willing to become a disciple of the Battle Hall. Now only a few big cats and small cats were left. If one became a true disciple of the Battle Hall, their status would be even lower than other inner disciples. Therefore, even the 8 people who had taken up the position of Battle Hall's true disciple were no longer in the Battle Hall. They were disciples of other halls. "I am willing to become a true disciple of the Battle Hall," Ling Xiao said calmly without any hesitation. He was aiming for the Battle Hall. He didn't even consider the other 8 factions. Long Outyin, you have to think carefully. The battle hall has declined and is lacking in resources. With your talent, it's not impossible for you to join the Sky Hall. If you can catch the eye of the battle god and be accepted as a disciple, your future will be limitless. Why do you want to enter the battle hall just for the position of a true disciple? Tong Yuan hurriedly advised. He was sincerely looking out for Ling Xiao. He hoped that Ling Xiao would have a bright future. Thank you for your kind intentions. Among the 9 factions of the War God Temple, I hope to join the battle hall the most, Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. A true disciple of the battle hall? How short-sighted. Lei Muwen gloated. His eyes were full of disdain. Since you are willing, I will report this to the sect. You will be the 9th true disciple of the battle hall. Dean Tong, please confirm the other 9 spots as soon as possible. Tomorrow, we will set off for the sect, Duan Qin said indifferently. Tong Yuan nodded. Tiangang, Xianwang, Zhou Daoji Wang Lin, Minro, Lu Huan Limu, Deng Gongjue and Lu Zhengfeng would all enter the War God Shrine and become inner disciples. Eldest senior brother, which hall are you all planning to join? Ling Xiao asked as he looked at Tiangang, Xianwang and the others. Ha. Isn't that obvious? I cultivate the indestructible war body, so of course I want to join the battle hall. Even if I don't cultivate the indestructible battle body, I'll follow you wherever you go. Tiangang laughed heartily, looking very carefree. I'll join the battle hall as well, Xianwang said calmly. Junior brother Long, you are our savior. You even gave us the sacred badge. Of course we will follow you. We will all join the battle hall. Zhou Daoji and the others looked at each other and said with a smile. During the astral tournament, these prideful geniuses were completely convinced by Ling Xiao. Therefore, they were willing to follow Ling Xiao from the bottom of their hearts. Senior brothers, you don't have to do this. If you join the battle hall, you will have to pay a high price if you want to learn the secret techniques of the other halls. Ling Xiao was touched, but he still took a deep breath and said sincerely. Tiangang cultivated the indestructible war body. If he joined the battle hall, he would naturally be able to learn the indestructible sacred technique. Ling Xiao naturally wouldn't stop him from joining the battle hall. Xianwang had her own inheritance, so it didn't matter which branch she joined. Zhou Daoji cultivated the Great Wilderness Sword Dao, while Wang Lin, Minro, Lu Huan, and the others cultivated different martial arts. Logically speaking, they should join the other halls to cultivate. This would be the most beneficial for their future. Although Ling Xiao hoped that they could follow him to strengthen the battle hall, he didn't want to hinder their future. Junior brother Long, you don't have to say any more. We already know that once we join the War God Temple, although the martial arts of the 9 branches are different, as long as we pay enough contribution points, we can learn the other 9 branches' martial arts except for the heaven battling secret technique, which is the foundation of the War God Temple. We believe that if we follow you into the battle hall, it won't be any worse than the other 8 branches. Wang Lin and Minro looked at each other and said with a smile. That's right. Junior brother Long, I rarely admire anyone in my life. Even if it was eldest senior brother, I only admire half of him. But for you, I completely admire you. Deng Gongjue, who had always been arrogant, also spoke up. Ling Xiao stood up and took a deep breath. He then bowed deeply to the crowd and said, Thank you all for believing in me. I'm sure you all have guessed that I'm going for the sky flipping seal. I will definitely become the battle hall master and restore the glory of the battle hall from 1,000,000 years ago. This was the first time Ling Xiao had told everyone about his ambition. His voice was filled with confidence and determination. Tiangang and the others trembled. If they were ordinary people, they would have already called Ling Xiao a lunatic. But for some reason, they were attracted by Ling Xiao's charisma and nodded seriously. We believe in you. Everyone looked at each other and burst into laughter. At this moment, everyone's blood was boiling. They were so excited that they couldn't control themselves. The path of martial arts was a lonely one. One had to embark on the journey alone to reach the peak. But fortunately, at this moment, they met a group of like-minded people who were willing to walk together and work towards the same goal. This feeling was great. Everyone felt that at this moment, They weren't alone. At this moment, everyone believed that Ling Xiao would definitely shine in the battle hall and lead everyone to restore the battle hall to its former glory and glory. They chose to support and follow Ling Xiao. They were willing to walk together with him. Chapter 1560. Kid, isn't the speed of your cultivation advancement a little too fast? How long has it been and you have already broken through to the Divine King realm? The white dragon horse was still in the form of a black donkey. It appeared out of nowhere and looked at Ling Xiao in disbelief. Calculating carefully, Ling Xiao had only been in the divine world for a few years, but this cultivation breakthrough was actually as simple as eating and drinking water. Many people had even wasted tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of years in the four realms of divine Tao. Even if it was a genius expert, the time needed to break through was also counted in hundreds of years. Ling Xiao's speed of advancement was indeed shocking. You are not bad yourself. You have also reached the great heavenly God realm. You are only one step away from the Divine King realm. Ling Xiao looked at the black donkey and said with a strange look in his eyes. The white dragon horse looked like it had nothing to do, but its cultivation did not fall behind. The bloodline of the dragon horse tribe was extremely powerful. In the ancient times, the dragon horse was the mount of the heavenly emperor, and was attached to the bloodline of the great emperor. Therefore, it was also gifted and its bloodline was ancient and noble. The bloodline of the white dragon horse showed signs of atavism. It looked very mysterious. Can you compare yourself with me? I am the great dragon horse. I can travel through thousands of worlds. Even the dragon tribe would not dare to say that their bloodline is stronger than mine. The black donkey laughed proudly. Don't be so smug. No matter how great you are still my mount. Let me tell you, we are about to enter the War God Temple. You better behave yourself. If others find out that you are a dragon horse, I will not be able to save you. Ling Xiao slapped the black donkey's head. This fellow was asking to be taught a lesson. Moreover, his mouth was incomparably foul. When Ling Xiao thought about how much trouble the black donkey would cause in the War God Temple, he felt a headache coming on. I will not offend people if they don't offend me. If they offend me, don't blame me for trampling on their faces. The black donkey said bitterly. Ling Xiao had planned to bring the black donkey and Bai Susu into the War God Temple. Now that the battle hall was in shambles, they were in dire need of manpower. However, the black donkey was not reliable no matter how one looked at it. It loved to stir up trouble. If that mysterious sovereign emperor had not entrusted it to Ling Xiao would not have brought it along. Now, it seemed like he could only give it a beating from time to time. After all, the black donkey was asking for a beating. Bai Susu stood at the side. She was dressed in white. She looked gentle and elegant with a faint smile on her face. Ever since she had cultivated the Lightning Emperor technique, and Ling Xiao had given her many saint liquid and treasures, her cultivation, she had reached the late Divine King realm. Furthermore, the Lightning Dragon bloodline in Bai Susu's body began to awaken under the stimulation of the Lightning Emperor technique. Although she had concealed her aura with the heaven-shrouding secret art, Ling Xiao also possessed the dragon bloodline. Thus, Ling Xiao could sense the ancient and mysterious dragon aura from Bai Susu. At this rate, it wouldn't take long for Bai Susu's bloodline to revert to its ancestral state and become a pure-blooded dragon. The next day, Ling Xiao and the others followed Duan Qin and Lei Muwen to the War God Temple. Celestial Dipper and Xian Wang were alone. Only Ling Xiao had the black donkey and Bai Susu with him. However, disciples who entered the War God Temple were allowed to bring servants and followers. Since Ling Xiao was about to become a true disciple, even Elder Duan Qin didn't say anything about it. However, when Lei Muwen saw the black donkey, he could not help but snort. Long Out Yin, you really have a unique taste. You actually chose a black donkey as your mount. If you're so poor that you can't even afford a mount, I can give you one. Otherwise, you'll become a laughingstock in the sect. The black donkey became furious before Ling Xiao could say anything. It bared its teeth and looked at Lei Muwen in an unfriendly manner. Hee-haw, you're the mount. Your whole family are mounts. Look at your deer-like head and toad-like eyes. You're so unlucky. Be careful not to get struck by lightning when you go out. Bastard, you're courting death. Lei Muwen was enraged. His eyes revealed a trace of coldness. Hee-haw, brat. If I'm a bastard, then you're a bastard too. Your ancestors are all bastards. The black donkey sneered. The black donkey's words enraged Lei Muwen. He was so angry that his body trembled. Tiangang and the others had seen the power of the black donkey's mouth. At this moment, they could not help but smile. They had long found Lei Muwen an eyesore. As the saying went, evil people would be dealt with by evil people. How could Lei Muwen's mouth be better than the black donkey's? He was instantly exasperated from being scolded. I'll kill you. Boom. Lei Muwen's eyes burned with killing intent. A majestic aura exuded from his body. Then he slammed his palm down on the black donkey. The blazing palm contained streaks of dazzling lightning. This was Lei Muwen's furious attack. It was as if he really wanted to kill the black donkey with a single slap. This palm even enveloped Ling Xiao. Wherever the palm landed, lightning blazed. It was as if lightning dragons were intertwining with each other. The aura was monstrous. Lei Muwen actually attacked with all his might. It was as if he had been planning this for a long time. He displayed a powerful lightning martial art. The aura around him was incomparably cold. Even Duan Qin's eyes flashed. He did not stop Lei Muwen's actions. You're courting death. Ling Zhao's eyes turned cold. He sat on the black donkey's back. Golden blood energy rose from his body. He threw out a punch. Kaja. This punch caused the void to explode violently. It contained an incomparably terrifying power. It broke through the layers of lightning and collided with Lei Muwen's palm. Boom. The heavens and earth trembled, and the void shook. The lightning that filled the sky actually exploded. Ling Zhao's fist rose up like a divine dragon, extremely resplendent. With a crisp sound, Lei Muwen's arm directly exploded. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he flew out horizontally. He spat out a mouthful of blood. It was as if he had been hit by an immemorial mountain. He was severely injured. Facing Ling Zhao's punch, Lei Muwen felt as though he was facing an invincible great emperor. That kind of monstrous fist aura made his heart tremble. That kind of mighty power was like crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood, directly defeating him. How dare he attack junior brother Long? This Lei Muwen is asking for it. Zhou Daoji smiled faintly. Everyone knew how powerful Ling Xiao was. Especially in the Void Saint world, Ling Xiao had killed many inner disciples of the other saint lands. Lei Muwen was only a late divine king. How could he be Ling Zhao's opponent? Chapter 1561. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. What a powerful physical body. Duan Qin's heart skipped a beat as he looked at Ling Xiao. He could tell that Ling Xiao had already cultivated his indestructible battle body to the great perfection stage. His physical body was so strong that he could defeat any god king. Therefore, even though Lei Muwen was 2 stages higher than Ling Xiao, he could not withstand Ling Zhao's punch. Cough, cough. Lei Muwen coughed out blood as his face turned pale. Rumble. The aura around him became stronger and stronger. There were even purple lightning bolts around him. It was ancient and mysterious. The entire place was filled with a majestic aura. Divine Firmament's destructive lightning doctrine? Tiangang was shocked as he said slowly. He did not expect Lei Muwen to have cultivated the supreme sacred art of the Thunder Hall, the Divine Firmament's destructive lightning doctrine. That was a supreme sacred art that only true disciples could cultivate. Lei Muwen's ability to cultivate it probably had something to do with Lei Qianjue. It seemed like Lei Muwen was completely enraged by Ling Xiao. He actually wanted to use the Divine Firmament's destructive lightning doctrine, a supreme sacred art. The vast aura of the lightning doctrine made everyone's heart tremble. Divine Firmament's destructive lightning doctrine? Ling Zhao's eyes also lit up. The Divine Firmament destructive lightning mantra and the Lightning Emperor art were peerless sage techniques that were equally famous. Their attacks were unparalleled, and their power could destroy the world. Although Lei Muwen had only cultivated a little, Ling Xiao could still feel the terrifying aura from Lei Muwen's body. Ling Xiao had inherited the Lightning Emperor art. He really wanted to see the power of the divine firmament's destructive lightning doctrine. Enough! At that moment, Duanqin made his move. Boom! With a wave of his sleeve, a vast aura of the saintly way permeated the air. It immediately dissolved all the lightning power on Lei Muwen's body and blocked him. A high-level half-saint. He is at least a 7th revolution half-saint. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. Although Duanqin had only blocked Lei Muwen, Ling Xiao could still feel Duanqin's cultivation level. In the War God Temple, only 7th revolution half-saints and above could be promoted to elders. Although Lei Muwen was a little depressed, he didn't dare to disobey Duanqin. He could only glare at Ling Xiao hatefully. After suffering this hidden loss, he completely hated Ling Xiao. Let's set off for the sect. Duanqin looked deeply at Ling Xiao, then said to the crowd calmly, "Rumble." The heavens and earth trembled as a vast and majestic aura enveloped the entire Ares College. A golden jade talisman appeared in Duanqin's palm, exuding a vast aura of the divine path. Tens of thousands of rays of light, majestic and mysterious, floated in the void in an instant, then turned into a golden rain of light. Numerous runes flashed in the air, causing the space to tremble violently, as though it was about to shatter. An ancient seal appeared in the air, flowing with a mysterious light, as though it could shatter the heavens. It was incomparably terrifying. Is this the heaven-battling seal? Legend has it that the cyclic heavenly seal is a replica of the heaven-battling seal. Ling Xiao's heart trembled as his gaze turned solemn. The reason why the 12 immortal sacred grounds were able to suppress the divine realm and dominate the world was not only because the 12 immortal sacred grounds had inherited the 12 heavenly arts and possessed unparalleled strength, but more importantly, the 12 immortal sacred grounds each possessed an extreme Dao Emperor armament. The extreme Dao Emperor weapon of the War God Hall was the heaven-battling seal. This was an extreme Dao monarch weapon left behind by a peerless expert called the War Sky Monarch in the ancient times. It contained a supreme energy fluctuation. Once the extreme Dao monarch weapon was awakened, it would be like a great monarch with unparalleled power. After all, the Supreme Emperor Sky region was too far away from the War God Hall. Even if they took the void teleportation array, they wouldn't know how long it would take to reach the War God Hall. Hence, Duanqin used the Sage Talisman to communicate with the heaven-battling seal. With the heaven-battling seal's supreme power, even if it was only a 10,000th of it, it was enough to send everyone to the War God Hall in an instant. In the Divine World's 33 heavens region, each of the heavens region was vast and boundless. Moreover, the distance between each other was extremely far. Among them the Supreme Heaven Domain, Supreme Emperor Heaven Domain, and the other 29 heavens region were known as the Lower Heavens region. The Grand Clear Heavens region, Jade Clear Heavens region, and the Shangqing Heavens region were known as the Upper Heavens region. The 12 immortal sacred grounds were located in the upper 3 heavens. As for the Great Haven Law Domain, it was the center of the divine world. It was vast and boundless and contained endless secrets. The War God Hall was located in the Shangqing Heavens region. Rumble. Ling Xiao and the others were wrapped in a dazzling light. The space around them was swirling and chaotic. They didn't know where they were. When they came out from the boundless space turbulence, they had already arrived at the War God Hall. This was an ancient world. Immemorial sacred mountains rose from the ground one after another in front of everyone. They were emitting a vast and majestic aura. Rays of light shone brightly and auspicious vapors rose. Endless clouds filled the air. It was a magnificent scene. Ancient trees towered into the sky. The old vines were as thick as real dragons. Among the sacred mountains, there were many rare and exotic beasts galloping. There were graceful white cranes, white apes with overwhelming spiritual chi, and huge ferocious tigers. Everything in front of them made them feel as if they had been transported to the ancient mythical era. Is this the Shangqing Heavens region? The spiritual qi here is 100 times denser than the Grand Heavens region. Moreover, it contains the qi of the Great Tao. Zhou Daoji and the others were shocked. This was their first time in the Shangqing Heavens region. Compared with the Shangqing Heavenly Domain, the Grand Heavenly Domain was like a remote countryside. No wonder there were so few saint-level powerhouses in the lower heavenly domain. The strongest one was only a half-saint. After all, the lower heavenly domain was far inferior in all aspects. Is this the War God Hall? Tiangang's eyes flashed. He could see that on top of the sacred mountains in the distance, there were huge and majestic palaces. Moreover, there were many figures shuttling back and forth in the void. They were all emitting powerful auras. The atmosphere here was thousands of times more majestic than that of the Ares College. There was no comparison at all. This is only the outer mountain range of the War God Hall. The real War God Hall is still in the depths. Duanqin said calmly. Therefore, everyone followed Duanqin and continued to fly into the depths of the mountain range. Ling Xiao could see that there were tens of thousands of sacred mountains in the outer mountain range. They were connected by the dragon veins and intertwined with each other. It was as if there was a mysterious connection between the 9 heavens and the 9 heavens. They emitted a vast and majestic aura of the holy path. This was some kind of powerful holy path array. Although it was hidden, Ling Xiao could feel a terrifying destructive force from it. Rumble. When everyone flew past the tens of thousands of sacred mountains, they saw that in the depths of the 9 heavens, there were 9 sacred mountains. They were like 9 dazzling suns, emitting an eternal aura. Chapter 1562. The 9 sacred mountains gave off an ancient and majestic aura that was as vast as the sea. There were strands of mysterious ripples that seemed to be able to split open the sky, causing the entire world to tremble slightly. The 9 floating sacred mountains were the 9 branches of the War God Hall. On top of the 9 floating sacred mountains was a huge bronze divine hall. It was surrounded by endless primal chaos chi and looked extremely mysterious. That was the residence of the War God Shrine. It was the place where the supreme being that controlled billions of lives lived. It was also the core of the 9 branches of the War God Shrine. Whoosh! Ling Xiao and the rest followed Duanqin, and soon arrived at the bottom of the 9 sacred mountains. There was a platform that was shrouded in white mist. On the white platform there were many young figures with powerful auras. Their eyes were resplendent and shone with divine light. They were all very arrogant. These were the candidates that came from various heavenly domains to be promoted to inner disciples of the War God Shrine. There were many outer sect organizations in the War God Shrine. Other than the War God College, there were also some affiliated gangs, sects, divine kingdoms, and so on. The disciples of these organizations could also enter the War God Shrine and be promoted to inner disciples after meeting certain requirements. Ling Xiao looked over and saw that there were already several hundred figures on the white jade platform. Each of them had a powerful aura and were all in the Divine King realm. These genius disciples were all very arrogant. Their eyes shone brightly as they sized each other up. They were all waiting for the opening of the 9 branches. This is the Ascension platform. You all can wait here. Very soon the 9 branches of the War God Shrine will be here. At that time, you will be able to become a disciple of whichever branch you are willing to join. Duanqin said slowly to the crowd. Then he turned around and flew towards one of the sacred mountains in the sky with Lei Muwen. Junior Brother Long, I never thought that so many people would be promoted to inner disciples this time. It seems like the strength of our War God Shrine is truly unfathomable. Tiangang was also slightly surprised. The several hundred geniuses all had powerful auras. Some of them had even reached the late Divine King realm, or even the Great Perfection Divine King realm. These people came from the lower heaven domain. They had passed through many tests and met the requirements to enter the War God Shrine and become inner disciples of the War God Shrine. After all, the cultivation conditions in the lower heaven domain were not as good as those in the upper 3 heavens. The upper 3 heavens domain was a holy land for cultivation. Even if one did not have any fortuitous encounters, cultivating here was 10 times or even 100 times better than cultivating in the lower 3 heavens domain. The people from Ares College were the last to arrive. They immediately attracted the attention of the crowd. After all, Ares College's reputation was well known among all the external organizations. However, when they saw that there were a few great perfection heavenly gods among Ling Zhao's group, Some of them immediately showed disdain. After all, other than the 10 people from Ares College, the rest of them were all in the Divine King realm. Rumble. Before long, the world began to tremble. Light shone resplendently, and the 9 sacred mountains began to tremble slightly. They shone with boundless light in an instant, and mysterious runes began to float out. 9 streaks of light shot from the 9 sacred mountains to the ascension platform, turning into 9 figures with powerful presences. The 9 factions of the War God Temple were the Battle Hall, Sky Hall, Earth Hall, Yin Hall, Yang Hall, Wind Hall, Thunder Hall, Fire Hall, and Mountain Hall. Lei Qianjue? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed sharply. He immediately saw Lei Qianjue, who was wearing a black armor. His face was cold and majestic. His body was surrounded by blazing lightning, and his aura was unparalleled. Lei Qianjue's cultivation was extremely powerful. He had reached the peak of the 9th Revolution half-saint. His aura was even stronger than that of the reception elder, Duan Qin. He was only half a step away from the saint realm. The other 8 figures were also half-saints. Their auras were unfathomable. They were at the same level as Lei Qianjue. They should be the deputy hall masters of the other halls. Ling Xiao even saw Lai Yuan, the deputy hall master of the Fire Hall. In addition to the 9 deputy hall masters, there were also some inner disciples and true disciples of the War God Temple. They all had powerful auras, and their eyes were filled with curiosity as they looked at the crowd. Every inner disciple promotion ceremony of the War God Temple was a grand event. Therefore, it attracted many disciples to come and watch. They wanted to see if there were any peerless talents. When Ling Xiao saw that Lei Muan was standing beside Lei Qianjue, he glared at Ling Xiao with cold eyes. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He felt that someone was looking at him. He immediately raised his head and saw that among the 9 deputy hall masters, there was an old man with white hair and a beard. He was dressed very sloppily. He was looking at Ling Xiao with a burning gaze. His eyes were filled with satisfaction. Could he be the great elder of the War God Temple? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He felt the aura of the indestructible combat body from the old man. He had heard from Chong Xiuchong and his 2 senior brothers that the War God Temple was in decline. There were no hall masters and deputy hall masters. Only the Great Elder was still holding on. If it weren't for the Great Elder, the War God Temple would have been completely destroyed. Everyone, welcome to the War God Temple's inner disciples. This is an honor for you and a joyous occasion for the War God Temple. The War God Temple has a total of 9 branches. They are War, Heaven, Earth, Yin, Yang, Wind, Thunder, Fire, and Mountain. Your promotion to inner disciple will be decided according to your wishes and the opinions of the 9 deputy hall masters. Among the 9 figures, the one in the middle was a middle-aged man in white. He looked elegant and extraordinary. His eyes were deep and calm. He is the deputy hall master of the heavenly hall, Yang Fan. He is also the great disciple of the War God. I heard that his cultivation is only half a step away from becoming a true sage. He is very powerful. That's right. The War God is now the hall master of the heavenly hall. Therefore, I heard that Deputy Hall Master Yang Fan is in charge of all matters in the heavenly hall. As long as this person breaks through to the sage realm, he will immediately become the hall master of the heavenly hall, or even the supreme elder. The heavenly hall is now the strongest branch. I heard that they are very strict in recruiting disciples. It would be great if I could join the heavenly hall. Everyone was discussing softly at the side. Their eyes were filled with incomparable excitement. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.